I see you out there, Internet.
Ah.
And I assume you can see me. Everything seems like it's working fine, so welcome. This is Burning Bright, our Bladerunner RPG actual play here on Happy Jack's RPG Network. I'm CADave. I use he, him pronouns. First off, right up front, if you need to catch up on any episodes, this is our 11th session. So if you need to catch up on any previous ones, you can find them at happyjacks.org/burningbright. They're also available in podcast feeds and on the YouTubes and Twitch. You can find them many places. Aside from that, once again, my usual warning that this is an M-rated game experience. It is not geared towards the little ones. If you're deciding to be like, RPGs are great for kids, this is not the game to set them down in front of to watch. We are dealing with adult themes and terrible things happening to good and bad people. So please be aware. If that's not your jam, there are other games on the Happy Jacks Network or all over the internet that you can find that deal with things in a much more family-friendly or just gentler way. Different stories and different things. Weird, normal, all of the ranks in between. You can find something out there for yourself. Being this kind of a game experience that we don't want to actually traumatize and hurt each other when we play, we use safety tools here. Please, if you play games, use safety tools. Doesn't matter if you played games with the same people for 15 years. You never know when some weird little thing is going to pop up that really bothers somebody. You name an NPC after a beloved childhood pet that's no longer around. Somebody is like stuck in a brain lock of terrible feelings. Don't do it. Give them an X card so they can hit a button or tap the table or make an X, whatever works, just so you can move on. Do something different. Everybody feels better. That's the whole point. It's having fun when you play games, not traumatizing others or yourself. Sometimes there have been times where I start describing something and I go, let me pull that back a little bit because that's not where I want to go. So just play games, have a good time, be safe. Let's go around the table.
Hey everybody, I'm Joey, he, him pronouns, and I am playing Gavin Huxley, also he, him pronouns, aka the status quo's favorite princess. Who is also a secret replicant, who is a fixer, who is fine. Everything's fine here.
Everything's awesome. Hi, my name's Cousteau. I use he, him pronouns. I play Fjor Rotari, who also use he, him pronouns, and he is a completely innocent, innocuous, non-ambivalent veteran Cityspeaker. And that's true. It's all true. Thank you.
Yes, that's very true.
Holding it in.
That's a lie, Maury.
Hi everybody, I'm Kai. I will only tell the truth. I use he, they, and she pronouns. And I'm here to play Haru, who uses they, them pronouns. And they are a replicant. Loud and proud. Maybe too loud. Nothing about them is proud, actually. That is a lie.
Okay.
And they are a investigator. That's their job, in theory. And arborist.
Nice. Gonna like the trees. Hi everybody, I'm Sam. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm here to play Kestrel, also she, her. Definitely a replicant. Gentle soul, this one. She is our enforcer of the group. That's all I'm gonna say for now. You guys will figure it out.
Good. So, on our previous session, we finished up the meetings post-concert party.
Yes.
At the post-concert party, I will give Haru a point for humanly connecting with a security guard over the ferns. Around one fern could be the title of your show. Let's see. I think I'll give a promotion point to Gavin for a positive interaction with the judge.
Hooray!
And getting some insight from there. I don't think there's any other point-worthy things that happened at the party in particular, separate from those events.
I would say, I don't know, potentially a promotion point for Haru for managing to sneak that glass, acquiring evidence.
Sure.
Maybe.
I could do that. Yeah.
Take it.
You did manage an operation to swipe the glass from somebody that probably would have given it to you by the end.
Yeah,
But you did it.
I did it the clever way.
Then, downtime wise, I don't think anything particularly point worthy happened during the downtime for Fjor or Kestrel.
Could I feasibly get a humanity point for helping the AI and kind of making friends with them?
Yeah, I will give you one. It was going to come later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
you have made a connection to the AI who is having some problems. But
Same, bro.
you were supportive and related. So yes, that can be one.
Okay.
And then you all were summoned to Quell's apartment to find Quell had been murdered and dissected and left in a tableau diorama
Oof.
medical exhibit. Like when you go to see the plasticized people
Yeah.
kind of feel to it.
Mhm.
They fell to pieces.
Oh.
Maybe they fell down. I don't know.
Oh God.
You haven't established the exact cause of death. So while you're there, I think I'd give a promotion point to Haru for narrowing down the timeline, talking to the neighbor downstairs.
Yeah.
I think I'd give a promotion point to Gavin for checking on the projector / Bluetooth music connection kind of thing. I would give let's see. Between Kestrel and Haru, why don't you each roll your just connections die?
Lols. Okay.
No.
2.
3.
Okay. So Haru can get a promotion point for following the rope
Okay.
and finding the organ.
Yeah, my wet bag. Don't worry about it.
Some would say it might be the organ trail.
There it is. There's the joke.
Oh.
You're welcome. I'm not as prolific, but I come out with one every once.
Vicious.
I was trying to work in, waiting for the man with the bag.
Oh.
Let's see. Fjor, I will give you a promotion point for just handling that security guard downstairs.
Oh my God, that was so funny. No, I'm going in.
just establish dominance and walk on by.
He was giving Ron Swanson.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
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 I know more than you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
100%. 100%.
This is my permit.
Thank you.
Anything else that I'm...
What about when I'm in the bathroom? Could I get a
So there was a bathroom
Fjord?
party.
Oh,
there
you did.
somewhere.
You dusted and you found the footprint.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give you the one for that. Sure. And for those of you watching, I know I'm giving out more points than the game prescribes, but I kind of like this system. It helps kind of refresh everybody's memory, and we're not playing this for 7 years of game, so a couple extra points might help you get a promotion or some extra thing. No big deal. Yes. Anything else?
I'm reading back through my notes to see.
If you guys didn't know, Sam is an incredible note taker.
There is a
And
prolific and extensive.
her notebook knows all.
It does, because I won't remember any of this. So the book has to.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin did find a cut line along on the neck that was like where the blood was drained.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
Trying to think of any
We'll
other,
hold
like,
off on a point for that.
clues.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Who called Coco?
The
Feel like-
system.
Okay. Oh, who called dispatch? Someone called dispatch.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have a promotion point for that because
Yeah.
you notified them immediately when
Okay.
you found out.
Before we even knew what was going on.
There may be some upcoming questions about how you knew about it to call dispatch, but
Listen,
For
anonymous sources are anonymous for a reason.
okay. Yeah. We'll see how that lasts.
Yeah. Not journalism.
I did also prevent our friendly neighborhood security guard from going in there and being horribly
That was
traumatized.
so funny.
You know what? I will give you a humanity point for treating them in a gentle way that still kept them from either murdering anyone else by accident or stumbling into a crime scene and vomiting all over the evidence.
That would have been
Yeah.
bad.
So
Yeah.
What's
Good
this
job.
weird puddle in the middle of the projection? Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
that's a strange texture under this part of the hologram.
Yeah.
It's art. You're not supposed to understand it.
Rough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then we had Coco arrive, who was happy to dive into
Yeah,
this
he is.
mystery.
Oh, not literally, but
But it's.
He might.
oh no!
I mean, yeah, I think he very much is happy that this is
Coco.
like,
No.
where's that?
interesting, and I mean, it may be terrible, but Coco is very much dedicated towards discovery.
Oh.
And this is something outside that guy got shot. Like, so I think in his situation of being a police coroner that deals with all of the mundanity of death in future Los Angeles,
Yeah,
this is
sure.
definitely gonna stick out as a unique and fun experience.
He's skipping back. They're skipping back to the morgue.
Yes.
He doesn't have time to go to art galleries anymore.
Yes.
For algorithms.
Cool. So, I think everybody. Well, you two need a downtime.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that's fine. Where do we think Kestrel and Fjor are gonna want to go this next shift?
Ooh, good question.
And it could be together. It could be different locations.
I'm trying to think of like
whatever
what
works
our
for you.
evidence is.
And I will tell you, it's gonna take Coco at least a whole shift
Yeah.
to get any kind of results to share.
Okay.
the thing I wanted to do that I haven't had a chance to do yet is go use the Esper wall to try and use the street cameras around the
Mm,
buildings
Sure.
to see if I can find any evidence of like who it was now that we know what time they were murdered.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going back to headquarters.
All right. That makes sense.
I was gonna go to headquarters. I was gonna be shadowing Coco, but not for an hour. And also just to take whatever evidence they had found, their examination and research, serial killer patterns or any other possible matching pattern, as well as any key memory implants that might match a scenario of being a serial killer.
Sure. Okay.
So that's all. Trying to
Um,
connect some dots.
You could 100% search through memories and stuff. Like I said, it's gonna take this is an extensive crime scene, so it's gonna take Coco this whole shift
Yeah. So
to get this stuff and get back to the morgue and do all that. So anything related to that part of the investigation would have to be next shift. But you could totally go back and search through the memory files you have, or
Yeah.
old, newspaper articles, any files in the, in the database, that kind of stuff. That's totally doable. All right. Well, let's start with that. I think that's a good spot. So you get back to headquarters. You're able to get to a computer interface. What's the first thing you're searching for?
So I guess I'm thinking back to the person I asked who said that he had heard about someone getting killed brutally in an alley.
Oh, the chef.
The chef, and checking on the time frame,
Sure. Okay.
checking on the time frame between the judge being killed, Quell's death, seeing if there's a pattern there, and dismissing the possibility that it could be one of the UN slightly beefier, tankier security guards. Well, actually, no, I won't discount it. They're just not implanted, is what I found. They haven't been.
Yeah, they don't have the same kind of memory implantation.
Yeah.
It's more like rigid training implantation.
Okay. Just seeing if any of them could match possible description that we have, or what we've kind of put together, that someone is pretty tall, pretty hefty, very strong, male from the boot print, but also has some technical knowledge. So looking into what those models, what training they may have received or could receive besides combat training.
Sure.
They
sure.
received tech training.
Um.
Trying to do like a kind of profile.
Yeah. I get it. Why don't you connect intelligence and insight for a roll?
Real quick reminder.
You're right. I even had it right here, and I almost forgot
Yeah.
again. Hold on a second before you
Okay.
roll. There was one additional clue that I forgot
right,
at the
at
end
the
of last episode.
Thank you.
Left on the like side table next to the sofa, there was a birthday card.
Oh.
And it was left on the table, and it's just sort of propped up, like it had just been deposited there, like a lot of people do with greeting cards. But I will pass it around. And it's not signed. It has no envelope with it, nothing. There is no marker on it at all.
Okay. And the side table is part of the furniture that was moved, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And from it sits right there, and it almost like the picture on the front is looking down at the body.
Oh, okay.
Cute. I love owls.
For our viewers at home,
Says, "Happy birthday."
it's hoot hoot, happy birthday. Hope your day is a real hoot.
Give me bad Tyrell vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have looked to see if it was Quell's birthday.
Yeah.
Sure. It not the very day, but
Uh-huh.
just the day before.
Okay.
Oh.
Have we confirmed whether or not Quell was a replicant?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. It's pretty safe to say.
Okay, so then I would be adding if there's any pattern of inception dates for the victims, and not or in birth dates for the human.
All right. Well, go ahead and do that intelligence insight,
Okay.
and then we'll figure that. Yes, Tyrell absolutely had an owl
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and a
Hardcore.
white.
That was a great horned owl. if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Can I push?
Absolutely, you can. I mean, I'll give you some information,
Mhm.
successful or not. How much information you get to piece together depends on how many successes.
Well, I want more sound.
More is
What
better.
if I want more?
Hmm.
I need you guys to know the dice just erupted out of Cousteau's hand. It was well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're not making us do that again.
It didn't even go.
Oh Lord.
We'll find it.
Oh, it's all the way at me.
Whoa!
Wow.
Was it a good roll?
I did not observe.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we'll pass it back.
Okay, dice, whatever's wrong with you,
That's
get in order,
all I have.
or we'll
This is-
send
this gotta
you
work.
to Tyrell.
We need you to bring it
Baseline
down
test
to like
for
a
the
8.
dice.
Dice.
Oh my god! I got the exact same roll as last.
So, fuck you.
Wow, those dice are
said-
mad.
did
You
not
don't
watch
tell
it.
us what to do. We tell you what happens.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the shift.
It sure is.
Long day.
You
Starting
could push
strong.
again.
I'm gonna push again.
Let's go.
Do you have different dice?
I know. Do we need
Those ones are mad.
someone to blow on what's the story
Yeah,
here?
Who wants to give me some kind of
I'll try.
okay. Okay.
It usually goes well when you
Please.
blow on them. It's your rolls that are cursed.
You're right.
I'm gonna keep this a little closer. I would die if it's the same
it's
exact
the
same
same?
roll.
I would
I'm so
The
scared.
fates have woven this
Yeah.
to be true.
I would banish those dice.
2 successes and we're both 7.
Status quo's favorite princess, me.
Which oddly enough is the sum of the last 2 bad die rolls.
It's just
All right.
it's 2 sevens specifically. It's got an energy to it.
There is something about this. Yeah.
Lucky 7.
Yeah. The third try.
All right. So, first thing I will tell you is Quell is the only one that died approximately on their birthday,
Okay.
or inception date.
Okay.
Yeah. The other, like, between the 4 murders that you know about that may be connected, Chef, Judge, Ultimate Warrior, and Quell, they
It's quite a roster.
Quite a
Chef,
roster.
Judge, Ultimate Warrior, and Quell.
yeah, fair enough.
Opening lineup at Coachella next year.
Yeah.
Or at the
they're all
Abbey.
in one band. They all, like, the Chef and the Ultimate Warrior, it was much more brutal.
Yeah.
Like, it was strength based,
Yeah.
kind of rage killing, right? The Judge and Quell were very precise, very planned and executed technical murders,
Okay.
right? That involved convincing security systems to do things. There was a whole plan involved with those two that the other two seemed like was not a thing. Like there was no, it didn't seem like there was a plan. Like I'm gonna wait in the bathroom for the Ultimate Warrior to come in here. And it happened. The other two happened in public places.
Yep.
Quell and the Judge were in private spaces.
Okay.
So from a profiling perspective, like somebody on Criminal Minds would be like, this is 2 different people.
Yeah.
Right? Like these are not the same MO at all. However, it does seem like the frequency is increasing between these two. I don't know if it's 2 people
Yeah, I hate that.
or if it's just 1. It's hard to know. Let's see. Other stuff that you were looking for.
So if the incept dates, trying to see if it matches any past serial killer patterns.
There are in the historical records some very intricate murders that were laid out and displayed in various ways, but nothing particularly that matches either the judge or Quell. Not exactly, right? Like, there were people that had been parts removed, but they weren't laid out like a medical diorama.
Okay.
That you can find. And it seems like all of these occurred in the last couple of years. Like the 4 killings are basically the last year. And you don't have, in the LAPD record, there's no record of a prior super technical kind of killing
Okay.
that you can find. There are any number of rage-based kind of just murders, straight murders, but not anything that matches up with the other 2.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. So if you asked a computer to come up with like a statistical analysis, it would probably point you at 2 different people. Maybe working together, since they seem to timeline correlate somewhat. Maybe it's a person and, not to use Sith terms, but master and apprentice, or, a teacher and a student, or something. Maybe there is some kind of connection point there, but it doesn't seem like it's the same type of merge.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that, and I'll just.
You also now have like a firm timeline on the chef because you found the records for that.
Okay.
So you can add that into the file if you want.
Okay, I will. I'll just keep that one related to the Ultimate Warrior's death.
Sure.
With that. And now the question is, what now?
And just for the record, you shared both those murders with the group, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
When I went to the engineer and said I was looking to see if there's a connection. So.
Okay.
All right.
So
that's how I spend.
And then as far as your like memory, like your catalog of memory implants that you have that aren't necessarily in the whole database, you find some memories that did involve a killing, like a murder of some kind, but not that were like serial killers.
Okay.
It was more like something got out of hand and they ended up killing somebody they cared about. And now they're getting a second chance. So if they screw this up, they know it's the end.
Kind of like a rehabilitating.
Yes.
Anything related to, sorry,
No.
a fleshed out technical diorama type killing. Because I found one that was like a memory related to mirrors. I'm just wondering, was there anything?
The only memories you have like that there are several that have like medical connotation to them. So it's like maybe this is a memory that's implanted in a replicant that's being used for surgery or, being a medical professional of some kind. So it's like there are some you do have a couple memories in there that are like specific, like here's the class where we're doing a full dissection of a cadaver, and
okay,
that's the closest thing you find.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
But not something that's like compulsive or meant to inhibit behavior or...
No.
Okay. All right.
Were they making a serial killer? Is what you're asking.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, I'm wondering if that was even a possibility. But then, how many memories do they implant? Did Lilith memory implant at once?
Yeah.
On one person. So just really like verifying what is a dead end.
Sure.
See if something connects. If it doesn't, okay. Well, anyway, that's how I spend my time.
Useful.
Let's do Kestrel and the Esper Wall.
Okay, awesome.
So, specifically, the Esper Wall is like kind of public at headquarters. So you're able to notice that as you're sitting down and doing your work, there are like a legion of suits that are marching by. Like far more than the number. Like there's people that work in this building that are wearing suits, right? Like they are upscale workers in an office. They're wearing formalish attire.
Yeah.
But this is, you get the feeling that you're watching like a whole ass a law firm walk by, right?
Yeah.
Like it is a lot of very well dressed, not police suit. Like I bought a suit because I have to go to work, but these are people that like I had a custom suit made for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't get the tent behind the collar.
Yeah.
They're actually laying flat
Doesn't
and
fit
nice.
the shoulders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't actually button it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
Sorry.
Forgot to take the little tacks out of the vent in the back.
Oh, that one
Oh.
hurts me. In public, I will actually go up to somebody
Yes.
like, "Can I help you?" Actually,
Or
Can I
that little
please just
stone
snip?
X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stitch closed pockets.
Yep.
Oh. Ugh.
Brutal. I love all of our just like garment pain.
Stare into the middle distance now.
But these folks are not suffering from any of
Right.
that. It looks like they know how to wear clothing, and they're paid well enough to wear nice things.
Gotcha.
And you see them kind of coming into the building in groups, like they're getting through security, and then they're going
Okay.
up an elevator. Kind of. Just something you notice.
Okay.
But let's see. You're specifically looking for just public surveillance around Quell's building?
Around Quell's building,
Excuse me.
first, let's see, because we have the entry time for when the double of their
Around 2:30.
their access was used. So I'll start with that time,
Okay.
and just monitor like all of the cameras kind of around where I'm assuming their entry point would be, based on like what we found yesterday. So they went through the front door at some point. So the front entryway, like whatever's closest to that. And then I also want to look probably later at the later in the day when they might have left, at the like exit point where the bag of organs and the rope was found and stuff.
Perfect. So I think that's an intelligence tech roll.
Okay. That's gonna be this. And this. Okay. That is, I got a 10 and a 1.
So it's 2.
So that's two
just
successes.
2. The 1 doesn't do anything, right?
No.
Okay, great.
You don't want it to.
If you had no successes and a 1, then yeah.
Then a bad thing happens,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so I got 2 successes.
Okay. So I will give you that you looking at the prior to entry time,
Mm-hmm.
you see that there is like a recording of someone wearing the same black trench coat outfit that you
Mm-hmm.
have seen before that comes out of an alleyway down the street a little ways
Okay.
and walks towards the building. Just a few minutes before their marked entry time. Up to where the ground floor entrance to the building is.
Okay.
That is not monitored by people, but is
Right.
a secured. It's even like a double door kind of a situation where
Mhm.
somebody has to go in, like provide credentials, go into the first part, that door closes, then they provide credentials on an inner door, and it lets them into the building.
Okay.
So from your Esper position, you can see the way this person's walking that you haven't really gotten to see before in footage.
Okay.
So the person's gait is more masculine
Okay.
as they're walking. You then you have footage of the bag
Mhm.
dropping and impacting on the ground. But you do not have any footage of a person coming down the rope.
Okay. So I'll note what time the bag drops.
Sure. It was really in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
Like not too long before you were contacted.
Okay. I'll just make a note of the exact time. We don't have to pick one. Is there a way to kind of backwards follow? Like, so I found the alley that they came out of.
Sure.
Look for more cameras around that area.
You can. It's going to be hard. So, I'll let you have a second roll at it, but you'll need another 2 successes
Okay.
to get more information.
Give it a try.
Let's go.
Come on, dice.
Because there are at ground level there's really a
it's-
warren of ways things can go, so there are
Yeah.
a lot of possible.
Joey's,
That was the cutest thing I've ever seen
Joey's
in my
blowing
life.
from a distance. It's not a kid.
Oh,
it's
I didn't see it.
for the dice
That's
because
extremely cute.
because he'll get you 2 successes. Thank you for that. You can do it.
We're gonna push.
Okay,
Okay.
You know?
It's
it's
just
worth it.
too much air turbulence.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have it pointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try again. The exact same roll. So that's a no. The dice said no.
On opposite die.
Yeah.
Oh no. Just
Rough.
oh wow.
So you spend a chunk of time, right?
Yeah.
You are searching feed after feed, like trying to estimate how long it would take a person to walk to this exit to that area. Well, you don't see anybody there. Now you're checking over here. This exit, does that nothing. No, you're just coming up blank.
Okay.
You do see a variety of other minor crimes during your search
Okay.
committed by various people. But like from there's somebody that is attempting to scribble stuff on the side of a building. There's
Okay.
somebody that's trying to break into what looks like an old mailbox, but those aren't in service anymore. Maybe
Good
they
luck.
just don't know what's in there. They're gonna
Sure.
try and find out. Yeah, like
What's in the box?
yeah, you see
Oh,
like
no.
we haven't
More
gotten
random
to that one yet.
organs. Ah.
You see somebody that breaks through some glass at the bottom floor of a building and goes inside.
Okay.
Stuff like that, but not anybody in that kind of black trench.
Unless any of those crimes seem particularly anti-replicant, I think I'm just gonna ignore them.
No, I mean, nothing in particular that strikes you as
Great.
not even a lot of like violent on-person crime. It's more just minor property bullshit just happening.
Yeah, that's below my pay grade. We're gonna let that go.
Especially to find some anonymous person who was like that. That's
Mm-mm.
tough.
A question about the murderer that that we see. Are they wearing gloves?
They have their hands in pockets.
Okay, hands in pockets. Got it.
That's why they dropped the bag.
It makes it so much more difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole time you see them, they've got their hands in their pockets.
Okay.
And they're hunched up, right? So they're like wearing this hoodie. They're kind of hunched up and they're
Yeah.
making their way over to the door.
Gotcha. Is it another role if I want to do the same search for the entry stamp time for the judge's murder also?
So the I'll give you the same basics. The UN building,
Mm-hmm.
most of its security cameras are the ones that cover the building
Right.
rather than LAPD. You do get a bad, like, way in the distance kind of a view of somebody that looks maybe like it could be the person going across the street to the building,
Okay.
but you don't have good footage.
Nothing. No
Nothing
good footage.
real concrete.
Okay.
I'll let you make an intelligence observation.
Okay.
And if you get real good, I will give you additional information about
Well, let's find out what the dice say.
Let's go, Kestrel.
And by real good, I mean,
Intelligence
like-
observation.
it. 2+ successes.
Okay, we'll see.
A little better than a 5 and a 2.
Because this is very much like Deckard sitting back on his couch asking
Yeah.
to enhance.
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 Pull back.
Yeah, the horrible
Yeah.
slideshow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're gonna be really good at
I
it.
didn't need to get that close to
It was
it.
really good.
Are you you're a 6? I got 1 success.
Okay.
I'm not gonna push on that one.
All right.
This is not her forte, so I'm not like entirely surprised. She's not super good at it.
Don't
Yeah,
break-
that's totally legit.
Don't break Kestrel's brain.
No, she's smart, but she's not used
Not
to
that she
sitting at a
needs it,
desk.
but don't break it.
Doing so good.
So that seems.
Okay, well, we got where they came from at least.
And you kind of have an idea of the way they walk
Yep.
now. That's something you didn't have
Mm-hmm.
before. Cousteau, you were going to say something?
I was just gonna ask Sam, did Kestrel make turn in the portion of the coat that was found to
Yes.
headquarters, like for
I think
filing or for analysis?
Gavin took it to look at.
Yeah,
Gavin.
I could have easily.
But yeah, we bagged and tagged that,
Yeah, after I did my
threw it in evidence.
rich boy analysis.
Okay. Can I add on? I would, while waiting for Coco, I would just wait for like a chemical analysis, fiber analysis.
Okay.
Any detritus on the fab? I don't know what I said.
I wasn't ready for it. Detritus, I'm here for it. Come on, SAT words.
Such a good word. It's one of my faves.
He's a city speaker. He uses big words. No, I'm just kidding.
This is a very well educated city.
In many languages.
So I will give you immediately. You're able to find out that the coat has been dry cleaned
Of course.
because those dry cleaning chemicals stay in the fabric for forever.
Mm.
That's quick for them to determine. There's no blood evidence on it. There's no DNA evidence on it that they can find. I mean, they're not like meticulously swabbing this
Mhm.
whole piece of cloth,
Every fiber.
or they're not taking it under a microscope and inspecting every fiber to get the most in-depth information. But in general, they have looked at it closely under well-lit conditions. They don't see any signs of blood or other stains. They do find the chemicals used in dry cleaning.
No DNA.
Nothing that you'd see.
Okay. All right. That's
But
all I
it
want.
is, from the video that you've seen, it's this big coat somebody is wearing over like a hoodie kind of a thing and pants underneath. So it's not like they were doing like a strippergram with it's just the trench coat over nothing. So, like,
What a horrible way to die. Program.
Don't startle
And
certain
your
people.
stripper telegram.
Then I guess I'll go the investigator round, just kind of cross-reference manufacturers of this code. Who
Sure.
uses these particular chemicals? Anyway, I don't want to take anyone's turn. I just want to see like if that was something.
no. I mean, it's totally fine that this is all happening in the same shift.
Okay.
You're able to find that it is like a mass-produced, essentially like London fog kind of a coat.
Hey, I had a linen fog.
I-
London
real
fog.
special.
Well, yes,
It's
but it is
mass-produced.
also
I know.
made for many
I
people.
know.
You are not the sole owner of a London
I like to
fog
pretend
coat.
I am.
Sure,
when I walk
sure.
down the
You're
streets like
the
Neo.
London fog.
Turn up my collar.
But
London fog.
so,
do.
but like it is that tier of coat that is nicer than just
Yeah. Okay.
found at a super low budget kind of a clothing place. It is a step above. It is a nice coat that is pretty sturdy. It seems like the part that it ripped from that top of the vent a little corner because it got caught in the door.
Okay.
Like somebody was moving and the door shut
The tail just
and just caught it and it just tore off.
Okay. Good to know.
So the tear is actually even pretty clean because that door where it pinched it provided a pretty flat angle.
Okay.
Let's do some downtime. Who would like to go first?
I have a silly question
Sure.
to start. Which
Aren't
is,
they all?
yes. How accessible are the elevators for the rest of the building for us in Quell's apartment?
I mean, before you leave, you could go to whatever floor you want. Like,
Great,
You're
love
in the
that.
building and you have a badge.
Perfect. Then I think Haru parks the spinner back where it's supposed to go after spending time down on the Oregon Trail.
Yes.
And is just like, I think just messages Gavin, just like, Spinner's back on the landing pad. Logan's glass is still in the spinner. Just the whole download of just like all the evidence that I took is all in the spinner or with Coco's person. And then they seemingly just vanish. And they're going to go as high as they can in this building
Okay.
and find a place to just chill.
Okay. So, as high as you can go in the building, but still be inside,
No,
or all the way to the roof?
all the way to the roof if they can
Okay.
get there.
You can absolutely do that.
Perfect.
So you are out there in the elements. I mean, the wind at that altitude is significant.
Yes.
So just as soon as you open the door, it's buffeting.
Yeah.
But you can totally be on the roof. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that they're going to go out there and just like spend a little bit of time. And it's like the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the yeah. it's
Yeah.
Very,
And they're out there just
Still in the fancy clothes.
still in the fancy clothes.
I love that.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh,
I will say up here on the roof, there is one of those mega industrial hollow projectors
amazing.
that is shooting off the side of the building a whole.
Oh yeah,
ad.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And they just stand out there in the glow of the city and the hollow projector and the wind, and they just kind of let it all kind of overwhelm them again, almost like sitting in the performance in the Philharmonic again, just to kind of like process the music juxtaposed against knowing that they were on a UN kill list. And kind of just going out there to not think.
Sure.
And they probably spend a huge chunk of time out there before probably getting exhausted, because that's a lot of elements going on.
Yeah.
And they're not super well protected. And then they probably just tuck themselves in somewhere and power down.
Sure. Specific question.
Mhm.
Are you leaving your KIA on? Or are you turning it off while you're up there?
I think because we're so fresh on Quell's case, it's probably on.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d8.
Terrifying. That's a 1.
Okay. You spend, like, you're up there. The thing that wakes you finally is like the sun has risen and it's gotten high enough that it's actually shooting light onto the top of this building. Like through the cloud cover, it's that daytime glow instead of just pitch darkness above you.
Yeah.
So you get some rest. You had some time to process. How many resolve points are you missing?
Good question. Just 1.
Oh, you could totally get
Doing great.
no problem. You can recover one.
More than I had.
I will say, your outfit is probably a little wind blasted,
Yeah.
so it might need repressing if you were to want to wear it again in society.
Yeah, they're gonna probably before they head back to work, go and change back into their like almost like a uniform, but it's always wrinkly, so it doesn't really have that look at all. Clothes that they wear all the time.
Sure.
But they put the outfit back in the garment bag, and they have it like hung over their arm.
No problem.
Yeah, so Gavin is going to get in the spinner, seeing Haru's message, like, cool, see you in a bit. Go back home, change into his slumming it clothes, and contact Argent, his Doxy
Sure.
key relationship,
Okay.
messaging, I need uppers and I need them now. Lots of uppers. Give me them all.
Okay.
Every upper.
Let's see how successful that was with empathy connections.
Yes, empathy connections. D12 and no connections. D12 and D10. No. Empathy connections. D12 and D8. Sorry. I can read.
They're all just numbers.
Does it work when you do?
Oh, that's hope.
Yeah, that's a 10 on the D12.
Jesus.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
You.
Arjun is like, I got you, fam. Right? Like, just 100% shows up with the full, like, briefcase from,
Pulp Fiction.
Las Vegas and Johnny Depp and
Oh,
Fear and
Fear and
Loathing.
Loathing.
Fear and Loathing.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
God. Yeah, just slams it on the table and opens it up. And, what do you need? Like,
Great. I would take enough to have a good night tonight and a good amount for later.
Sure. You have a supply.
Great.
Are you leaving your KIA on?
No. I'm going to say no.
All right. So you feel artificially refreshed. Like you could take on the whole empire yourself.
Yes.
So you're doing fine.
Okay.
How many resolve points were you down?
I was down 1.
Oh yeah, you could totally get one back.
Okay. Cool.
All right. The beginning of the next shift, as soon as you turn your KIA back on, all of you get an immediate, like, summon to the deputy chief's office.
Yeah.
And it's not the reception person calling like it normally is. It's the deputy chief that's, like, sitting there very formally at his desk, like, please report in as soon as you can. It's gonna be a busy day around here. Like, there's somebody else in the office for sure.
There's no swearing.
No,
Yeah,
this is
no.
it's just you guys did a great job being right on top of that, but we need you to come in so I can get your reports all together and organized. Please stop by. It's your first convenience.
Ooh.
Shower, put myself together, do a small bump to get myself ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna try and? Okay, well, I'm gonna like on our own private channel. Like, are we gonna come together, get our story straight, put all our ducks in a row?
What story do we need to get straight?
Yeah.
I'm not hiding anything. Are you?
You're
I didn't
not?
suggest we're hiding. But we
Kestrel's already in the elevator.
we
She's like at headquarters.
Yeah, that's expected. Well, I'm at headquarters too, so great. No, just so we put up a united front.
I mean,
Just to seem on top of it, the chief has obviously got someone breathing down his neck, potentially. Someone from Wallace, I would guess. I don't know. Has anyone seen it?
Not Quell, apparently.
Obviously.
Oof.
Hopefully not. That would be evidence.
Yeah,
we
Kestrel
might need a way
would
to
tell you
spin
guys
it.
about the suits that she saw.
Okay.
oh,
I'm thinking we might need just to have a story, a way to spend this in our back pocket.
where did the lead come from?
Wallace.
Huh.
That makes sense with what we saw at the concert.
Yeah.
What did you see at the concert? What do you mean?
Wallace.
The man himself.
Oh. So
Wallace actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Royal Wallace.
Yeah. The Royal Wallace. I'm inbound from Wallace.
Okay.
Question out of character. Is it possible to get an anonymous phone call in the Blade Runner universe?
Yes. It totally is.
Okay.
It would be unusual to not keep a record of that as a police officer, probably. Like, even if you're getting an anonymous tip, it's usually from your network of people that you've kind of established as informants that
Okay.
might call you when they see something weird happening because maybe they'll get a little bit of money out of it. That kind of a thing. But I mean, it's not impossible. Like, some random person could have just picked up the phone and be like, I'm gonna dial a number, like my number neighbor, you know, and get a hold of you just randomly. So it could happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a minute.
All right, it's fine. We'll cover for you.
Now,
No need.
do you want to assemble first and then go to the office, or do you want to trickle in piecemeal?
That's kind of what I'm getting at, but it doesn't sound like they care.
Haru doesn't care.
I think us showing up together would raise suspicion.
Okay.
Yeah. Kestrel got yelled at last time for being late, so I'm not waiting for you guys.
Okay. So we know Kestrel is heading straight there. Who else is heading straight there?
I mean, I'm at headquarters, so I'm heading.
So you're gonna go there
right to
too?
his
Okay.
office.
I'm
so-
heading straight there, but I am far away.
Right.
Getting through the morning routine and then heading in.
Yeah. So I guess we're just gonna end up with two kind of arrival times.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
'Cause you're probably like you have a little farther to travel, but you're taking a shower. That kind of.
Yeah.
But he's taking like a Charlie Day on a big bump day. He's like,
Drying off, getting dressed, pushing 80.
So,
Yes, that is exactly what's happening
Yep.
in my
so he
mind
might
now.
get there ahead of you.
I might get there yesterday.
You get there, and Gavin's just sitting there like, "Good morning. I'm glad you can join."
I'm
I
walking
didn't
out.
even know
What?
that. Yeah.
I just talked to you. How did you?
All right. So let's start with Kestrel and Fjor. You guys get
Okay.
up to the deputy chief's office. The whole of that little reception area
Mhm.
is filled with those suits. Like there are easily 15 of them. And then as soon as you get there, the person behind the reception desk is immediately like, please, right on through. And they're up and like presenting like bottled water to people, like,
Uh-huh.
you know, just trying to be super friendly, like everything here is fine. We're so cordial and happy to have people here.
Deeply cordial. office.
You step into the the deputy chief's office, and he immediately behind the desk kind of stands up, and he goes, "Oh, thank you for getting here so quickly. We have some concerns about last night," and he kind of gestures to the chair that kind of turns around so you can see who's sitting there. And as far as you could tell, it is Quell sitting there,
Oh.
looking very upset. Yeah. Because you have one model that works fine. Why would you make a new one?
Are you kidding? You guys
Get the next one out of the closet.
out of
Oh,
cold
it's Moon
storage.
all over again.
Yeah. The best movie.
Yes.
That is absolutely what it seems like is happening.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
So, like, Quell stands up and looks at you both and says, "I understand that my predecessor was killed yesterday. This is deeply disturbing to both myself personally and the Wallace Corporation. We need to know some things about the investigation. We appreciate that you've been right on top of things, but we need to know how you were able to get to the scene so quickly. We need to know what you know, anything you have to tell me, please."
And Kestrel, just be straight up, I received a phone call asking me from an anonymous source to do a welfare check on Quell.
From an anonymous source. Do you think it was possibly the perpetrator?
Unlikely. The perpetrator, judging by the profile of the perpetrator, voice wouldn't fit. I suppose they could have used voice modulator.
You can go ahead and roll an empathy manipulation.
Yeah, you can lie.
Definitely my forte.
Yes.
Technically, she's not lying. The
No,
source
but you
wanted
are
to be
obfuscating
anonymous.
the truth.
Thieving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that still counts.
Lie by admission, baby.
My favorite flavor.
We're gonna
You-
push.
What is wrong with why those numbers?
Was
I
it a 3 and a
don't
4?
know.
I don't.
It's a 5 and a 2.
New
Okay,
dice.
7.
New dice.
I don't.
Yeah,
7
we're
today?
new dicing.
I don't like this.
I also do not.
No.
Do a better job, dice.
And it's an opposed roll.
Oh, good.
Better throw on it.
This Quell has made a roll. And we'll see.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So you can see, like, Quell kind of does like a head tilt. Like a, all right.
Wait,
I guess.
is Quell a doxy? Do we know if Quell's a doxy?
No.
We don't know. We don't know? No,
You don't
or
know.
We don't. We don't.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just thinking PR, probably a requirement.
Externally, there's no real way to tell.
Because I'm not a doxy. But if I was.
Maybe there is a way that you could determine, but
Okay.
Maybe the
Um,
Fjor in the closet behind you with a duck.
Oh, no! No! No,
it's just a panel truck that follows you guys around.
yeah.
Surprise, we're playing Paranoia.
yeah.
With just those roll-out coat racks.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Mhm.
So, my, unfortunately, I don't have any memories of what happened after I left work yesterday. But everything else will continue in its normal fashion. We have decided to lock down all Wallace facilities, so access will be controlled by our security personnel from this point forward. If you need any additional information from us, please contact me directly, and I will do whatever I can to assist in this investigation.
Of course.
And anything you uncover, we would appreciate any knowledge that you can share with us.
We do have footage that I've located of the perpetrator just now.
Oh, very good, very good. I will review that when I return to my office.
Excellent. It should be noted that the let's see, access to the connection to your particular apartment was disconnected during the time of the incident. So the perpetrator
By
was
the
able to take down the your AI's access.
Oh, I see.
There's also consistent evidence of creating a false identity.
There were two accesses by you according to the system at two different times. So your
Ah,
entry was spoofed.
And this also occurred at the time of the murder of the judge as well.
oh. So you think it's the same perpetrator then?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any enemies you may have had in common with the judge?
I wasn't particularly connected to the judge. I mean, we knew each other from social circles, but not. We weren't friends, just work acquaintances, really. It's certainly possible that any number of people that felt wronged by the judge could also feel wronged by Wallace Corporation. I would have to do some research and see if there's anybody in particular that stands out, but
That
we
would
keep
be
a pretty
helpful.
close eye on credible threats.
Of course. That makes
Um,
sense. On a more personal note, I assume we have like a logged photo of the birthday card.
Sure, yeah.
I would show it to Quell. Does this mean anything to you?
Well, yesterday was the original inception date for 1 year, but other than that, no.
The owl reference holds no meaning.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Any significance to the word hoot? It occurs pretty often.
I'm not entirely sure. No, I don't keep birds. I have rarely ever visited an aviary, but anemoids were more a Tyrell obsession than a Wallace obsession.
Do you know why he was obsessed with them?
Oh, I think he probably, being a frail human, thought and longed for things that he missed.
Missed. Like what? A real animal? Or
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Eldon Tyrell would have been old enough to at least have remembered while there were still natural animals on the planet.
so I look over at Kestrel, like maybe, and in my nonverbal way, like, is this about natural life versus artificial life?
She just kind of shrugs at you. Like, unclear.
Okay.
But no, I certainly don't. We are not in the habit of providing Inception Day cards at the Wallace Company.
No, the way this was presented at the scene, it must have been left by the perpetrator.
Oh, how unusual. It seems that they are certainly well versed in who their victims are.
Indeed.
I have instructed our security forces, as I told you, to lock things down. Mr. Wallace is mobile and will remain so for his protection for the foreseeable future. All of our employees are to remain either at work if they were at work or at home if they were at home until we decide what the next steps are. And we've begun interviewing all the residents of the building to see if there's any additional information to be had there. And for the time being, I will be remaining at my office.
Good to know. If we find anything useful, we will let you know, and please do likewise.
Certainly.
I will share the footage with you that I found of the perpetrator. They came from an alley not far from the building. I wasn't able to trace them any further than that, unfortunately.
Well, it's certainly something. Yes, I will endeavor to speed this along. Mr. Wallace is quite upset.
Understandably.
Do you know if the models of security at the UN building, do they receive any other training besides combat? Any technical training?
Well, yes, we absolutely provide different support roles around the security apparatus. Several of them are trained, field medics, EMTs. Several of them are trained in heavy explosives and demolition. Several of them are trained hand-to-hand fighters.
How about coding?
Um,
Anything that resembled hacking systems, infiltration?
No, not really. I mean, beyond the basic levels of needing to get through a door, that kind of thing. Sure, I'm sure there is some technical training there, but they're not creating programs or AI
Or were there any other former combat models that would have received technical training enough to black out a building, create false identities for security purposes?
not that I'm aware of. I will happily do some further research, but no. It's usually not. Usually customers aren't willing to pay for that level of memory implantation. The more complex subjects take much longer to implant. And if you're purchasing a security replicant, you're not usually also looking for a coder. Replicants are strong and fast and able to do things generally better than most humans, but they still have to sleep. You can't put them to work coding all night and then expect them to be a security agent all day.
Well, the question we're facing is, how does someone obtain anatomical knowledge of a human body as well as the technical knowledge to infiltrate and put it on display? Well, that was you, as it happens, unfortunately.
Yes, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you, but I will endeavor to find out. If I can find anything, I will let you know.
As will I.
One more question. Your security technology for the building as well as headquarters, I assume, is proprietary.
Yes.
Is that the same security that the UN building uses?
No.
Interesting.
We sold them a different version that is not quite the same as what we use, but similar.
Okay, but it did come from
Yes. Mhm.
your department. How many people have access to how that security works?
In its entirety?
Yes.
Well, I mean, there's the software engineering team that works on it. Their manager would probably have overall access to that. Probably, our senior vice president of engineering would have access to that. AI development team would have access to at least significant chunks of it. Once it's deployed on their end, though, that's on their service. We just provide customer support
Certainly.
from there.
Just trying to see how many people have access to it, understand how it works enough to take it down. It may be worth, not to accuse your employees, it may be worth taking a look at those personnel. If there are any who have
Absolutely.
recently left, under
like,
disgruntled circumstances.
Quell has already like brought up a thing and is gesturing at their arm. At this point, let's go ahead and take our break.
Yeah.
And then we'll get you guys coming in to the situation as soon
Cool.
as we're done. So we'll be right back, everybody, in just a minute. Ha ha! We returned from the ether. I don't know why I said it like that. That was
The
ether.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I was just like, yeah. I think I was going from we returned from the ether, but then I wanted to put the A in there, but
Aether.
the word was already out. So
Ether. I see it. Yeah.
retroactively added it into the rest of. Anyway, I'm special.
You're doing real good.
All right. So I think this is the point where Gavin and Haru come in.
I would like to make a roll to see how Gavin reacts.
Sure.
How do you feel about an empathy stamina roll?
I think that sounds great.
Okay.
Amazing.
Like,
I will also. I just suggest that I will take anything you want to throw at me. But
well, so empathy stamina is good. Like, if you're worried about like you're gonna walk in and just have like a visceral emotional reaction and be like, blah, blah, like just lose it, that works.
okay.
If you think that you would immediately slip into like, oh, I gotta rein this shit in, that would be more like empathy manipulation. See how successful you are at keeping that all under wraps.
I think empathy manipulation will work then, because that's kind of the vibe I wanted.
To
Can I
not
turn my
visibly
fixer
react.
brain on
Sure.
to spin my nearly vomitous reaction into I'm fine, everything's fine here. How are you?
I think you're probably at disadvantage
I would agree
This
with
is
you.
so funny.
because
I love it.
you are basically just super high.
Yeah, I sure am. So remind me,
Yes.
disadvantage would mean I
Roll
rolled.
the empathy die twice
And I take the lower.
lower result.
Okay, well,
Wow.
one of them
What is that?
landed on the other, so we're gonna
That's
roll that.
hilarious.
Okay.
You're like,
That's
it's a
cursed.
dice tower.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled 2 3s and a 1. So
Oh boy.
Okay.
We're gonna have a normal time. This is gonna be really fun.
So
we gave a perfect report, and here comes
you come around the corner. Haru is right next to you.
How is normal?
You just walk into the room, and Quell is standing there, like having a direct conversation with these two, facing you at the doorway. And what goes wrong?
I think I just straight up, Jesus fuck!
Okay.
No,
No filter.
no
Sure,
filter.
sure, yeah. I think like all of the suits in the like antechamber are like, oh, you know, like just the general background harumph of suited men. Yeah. So
Disapproving sound.
yeah.
Peanut's parent.
And I think Quell is like, well, good morning. Why did you come inside? Do you have anything you'd like to add to the information about this investigation?
Gavin's frozen. He's gonna need a minute to reboot.
Sure.
I think Haru just kind of like puts their hand on Gavin's arm. Let's just step inside the threshold so the door can close.
Stab. Looking around, like, kind of like arm at his side, like pinching his leg, be sure he's not hallucinating.
I'm sure that our teammates have briefed you pretty well. It's good to see you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm filling in as best I can and trying to get up to speed on the missing time.
Mm-hmm. Since we're all caught up, yes.
Yes.
A question for you. Something that's been bothering me. What kind of connection did you have with the Shimano Dominguez Corporation, by any chance,
Personally?
or professionally?
Well, I've never worked anywhere but Wallace.
Yes.
I have many times dealt with my counterparts at Shimano Dominguez.
Mm-hmm.
We have some projects that both corporations are actively working on. They have made some moves that they're trying to start to compete with perhaps their own Nexus 9 models, but they're years behind. I'm not too concerned.
We all know which one's the better model. Doesn't matter what they put out.
I agree.
Interesting, though. And are they looking to poach any of the outsourced work from Wallace? Like another memory lab or maybe an engineer or two?
I would have to do some digging in the files. We generally attempt to be cordial with our corporate neighbors, but I'm sure that they have reached out to attempt to poach some talent.
Mm-hmm.
I know several cases that it has not been successful, but I'm sure that it has been in some situations.
Just any information you can provide. It's an angle that I think is at least worth looking into. If someone's willing to kill you, it means that they aren't worried about bad press.
So you think this might have been,
Or they're looking for it.
this might have been corporate espionage, kind of?
Not really anything out yet.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I will see what I can dig up.
It's much appreciated.
Certainly.
Anything else? Gavin?
Are we not going to talk about the corpse in the room?
They're fine.
I'm still perfectly animate, thank you.
We had a long day yesterday. You'll have to forgive him.
I can understand.
This
Yes.
is Quell 2.0.
Apparently my predecessor had a very long day as well.
Thank you. Maddox, I apologize. I did not put that together. Yes.
They didn't either. Put it together. She doesn't say that out loud.
That's so good.
Please don't.
The whole thing
Gavin,
is very puzzling, if you will.
On the inside, Kestrel looks like a little amused.
No, I was incepted this morning.
I see. Okay, I'm caught up now. Okay, yes. So sorry.
I guess happy birthday.
Well, yes, thank you.
On that note, who would know what your birthday is?
Oh, any number of employees would have access to production facilities or...
Anyone outside of Wallace Corp?
Not in particular, no.
Interesting.
I mean, if, as you showed concern, there's someone that has accessed our corporate network, it would not be difficult to find. It's not particularly classified information. It's not, our personnel files are pretty obviously kept.
Why?
Interesting.
I'm not overly worried about identity theft, but apparently maybe I should be.
I think it's hard to steal an identity that's owned by a corporation.
Indeed.
I think the more major concern is that if they had access to your personal information, that means they have had access to your system, and as they've demonstrated, have the ability to take down your security technology, which is worrisome.
Yes.
Along those lines, I think it may be prudent to take a look at your office, look at the computer, make sure there's no one worming in there. If you have the ability, I have a technician that I've gone to trust on your staff. Maybe they could meet us there later to take a look and see what we can find.
Oh, indeed. A technician on our staff that you trust.
Yes.
Well, yes. There are many that I also trust. But certainly you're welcome to come by my office.
Great.
I plan to return there immediately after this.
Good.
Parting question for you, if you
Yes.
don't mind. How much of your personal schedule is planned for you by the AI of Wallace Corp?
A fair amount. Most of our organization filters through various levels of the computer core, for lack of a better term. I wouldn't say it necessarily plans my day-to-day activities, but it keeps the record of things that are added to the calendar, and
All right, because most of our interaction before this, of course, went from the 1.0 through the AI. So I'm just wondering
Indeed.
how much of that you have access to
mean-
and how much is planned for you through that.
in general, I have many duties that I'm attending to. I'm not quite as focused on one thing as I am now. But I rely on the AI system to, filter appointments and things like that.
Who else would know that you've been activated?
Again, any number of employees in the Incept line.
Everyone in this building that's how you walk through as well.
Indeed. Mr. Wallace is aware of the situation
Just stands to reason that
and his immediate staff.
if we keep your reactivation under wraps and another attempt is made on you, then we know that it is someone who knew you were already activated.
I can avoid public appearances for the time being.
I think that would be best.
I haven't. I don't have anything scheduled that I need to make an appearance for the foreseeable future. So
I think for all intents and purposes, it's best that you appear to remain.
yes, I can do that. I will continue to coordinate from my office.
Would you say you have any specific enemies?
I have any number of specific antagonists. I wouldn't say that they're the type that are prone to go for physical murder. My job entails keeping the corporate image that sometimes makes people disgruntled with the world.
And in that line, would you say there's anyone that would particularly call you gutless?
I don't know. I don't often fall to, barroom taunts.
Fair enough. Just,
I'm also not particularly a physical being that most of my work is intellectual and public facing more than getting my hands dirty and lifting things or punching things.
of course. Well, it's probably more complicated than just personal conflict.
But again, there's no one in my mind that is any more likely to have come to assault me, I don't think. No.
Well,
Certainly no one in my social calendar that I recall meeting up with that things went badly or anything.
we will explore all avenues.
I have a question.
Mhm.
We were called to investigate the first crime related to your murder to the UN by security at the UN building. They mentioned that they'd heard we did good work. Was that reported by our offices, or was that somehow reported by yourselves? I don't blame you if it was a kind of celebratory, look good promotion, but
Oh,
How did they know
indeed.
about
We put out some press releases about how successful the cooperation between Wallace and the Reptitech unit here has been, and highlighted some of your previous success in that. I would not have been surprised that your unit was singled out for dealing with a high-profile case.
All right, so indulge me. I'm not familiar with your practices. I respect what you do, but how is it distributed? Like, what platforms? Is the AI involved, or is it device to device? What channels do you use?
Oh, we have many, many methods. We have direct contact with major news organizations. Sometimes it's as simple as sending a press release email that then they can spin into a story and do a little blurb on a broadcast. We have many, many social influencers on the payroll that we can push out news or bits that we want to see
Do you handle
propagate.
Do you handle those contacts personally? Does the AI assist you? or-
Some, and the AI does some, and the rest of my staff. I'm not a one-person army for a corporation size, which is Wallace. I do have a good number of employees that work with me.
So it could have been some channel you chose yourself, or something used by an employee that they used before, or the AI as well.
Yeah, any number of ways that they could have heard your good performance that we were reporting on.
Okay.
And besides Fjor, your sterling personality precedes you.
Oh, I know. Eyesight is diminished just by my blinding talent.
Well, solve this, and that may be true. I would certainly appreciate not being overly concerned about being dissected again when I return home in the future.
You might want to get the carpets extra cleaned when we're done.
I will be moving to a different
Good.
location.
That seems advisable.
Yeah.
My predecessor didn't care much for material possessions.
Yeah, that is obvious.
Can you by chance give us a list of people you've spoken to since you've come online?
I mean, the list is not particularly extensive. I can point to the gentleman in the other room. They're from our in-house counsel's office. They're aware that I'm back, as it were. Mr. Wallace himself, he likes to oversee senior staff inceptions. The initial scan tech I had interactions with just to establish my baseline. And then several of my staff.
No communication of anybody remotely, no connections to the AI, no personal calls.
I haven't made any personal calls, no. I have communicated with the AI and, of course, the deputy chief
Mm-hmm.
here. But outside of that, I haven't made any public appearances. We came into the garage and arrived here, and I plan to go directly back to my office.
That's good. Again, the fewer people who know, the more likely we can flush someone out if they really want to see you no longer with us.
Should I contact this tech that you like?
I'll go ahead and, if you have no problem with it, I can contact him once I'm at Wallace.
Certainly. Do include commute time. Some parts of the building are quite distant.
Of course. Just Gavin white knuckling the chair.
Yep.
Anything else?
I think thank you for your time and welcome to the world.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You all did good work before. I'm counting on you to do good work again.
We'll certainly do our best.
Thank you again.
Yeah. Happy
Um,
birthday.
Thank you. Should I clear my schedule of meetings, do you think?
It would be best if you met with less people.
As few as possible.
All right.
None would be best.
I have to conduct some contact with other employees, but that will be minimized as best I can.
I'd keep your one-on-ones to women.
I'd keep your one-on-ones to
Hmm.
you and AI, and that's about it.
I can do that. It'll be like a small vacation.
Safe travels back.
Well, thank you. Good luck and contact me if there's anything I can do. And Quell walks out of the room, and you hear the shuffling of bodies and feet.
All right there, Gavin.
Fine. Fine. We're all fine. We're fine. 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 I just saw a person in pieces. Now they're back together.
You don't expect Wallace to have a backup of every useful person for him in his entire life?
I don't think he considers anybody but himself useful.
Well,
Apparently, Quell's useful.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a backup if he has a backup of his own son.
That's a terrifying thought.
That's the world we live in.
But yeah, I'll be fine. I just had a morning and saw a ghost.
More like a zombie.
Sure. Splitting microfiber hairs.
Mm-hmm.
And the deputy chief is like, well, that went better than I thought. They came in here a little heavy.
Yeah, that was an army.
Yes. They laid out all the terms of our contractual obligations to their company.
I'm
And,
feeling indentured.
Yes. I emphasized that all of the resources of the LAPD are working on this case.
All of them?
Any that seem like would be useful.
Just don't forget you said that when we come knocking later.
Well, if you need something, don't hesitate. I'd much rather we all come out of this with jobs.
Yeah.
Or lives.
Preferably both.
Indeed. That would be better. So is there anything I can get for you while you're here?
Got any body armor you can spare?
Whatever you need. Just go to the armory and...
All right. You heard it here, Kestrel.
Now, when I say that, please try and make it something you need. I don't want to find out in a news article that 4 of my detectives went on a grenade rampage.
It'll be one, but yeah.
All right. Well,
It's not a rampage if they're useful.
Exactly.
yes. Have a reason, is what I'm saying. I will still have to justify expenditures and use of equipment.
Naturally. Have you ever seen me waste ammo?
Never.
Come on.
Not a single shot.
That's fine. Then if you need something, if you need to breach a building where you think the suspect is, I'm happy to provide those things.
Excellent.
But if you just want to carry them around to look cool,
No.
or if you wanted to take them and, I don't know, seek retribution on a previous enemy, please don't.
I don't have any enemies. I was instated last year.
I can think of several enemies I've made in the last year, so it happens. Several of them I wouldn't mind shoving a grenade in their mouth, but I haven't because it's difficult to justify, is what I'm saying.
Agreed. No, we're focused on the case.
Yeah. Any kind of technology, slicing, hacking information equipment would be great. Because I doubt Wallace is going to be terribly forthcoming with the information that we may need to solve this case. whether it's in their best interest or not.
Well, I mean, whatever. If you have a question, just contact IT and we'll do whatever we can. I don't think that we have anybody in IT that has a way into the Wallace's system.
That's where my tech
But-
comes in.
Mhm.
But them armed with the right tools may help
Certainly.
expedite the process.
In all seriousness, do we have any connections to Shimano Dominguez?
Connections, just contacts, people.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got a number that we can contact to put you in touch with someone.
Gonna need to talk to them.
All right. I can put it on your schedule for today if that's what you'd like.
Why don't you give me the information and I'll make the call.
Certainly. And he
Yeah.
waves a crystal at a thing and passes it to you.
Looks like we got a busy day ahead.
So I will caution you. We're pretty deep in Wallace's pocket around here. If you think this is a corporate war heating up in Los Angeles, try and give me a heads up.
It'll be my first call if I think it's gonna be a corporate war.
I certainly hope not.
Seen enough of those.
They usually keep that off world.
All those corpos look alike. It's fine. They're just gonna try and kill each other, hopefully in the dark instead of in daylight.
And if that's what happens and we can just put it down to an accident, fine. I'm not looking to be the final arbiter of justice around here. I'm just looking to, again, keep us all employed and alive.
All right. We got a murderer to catch. I uploaded a new video of our murderous friend.
Hmm.
Came
Same
out of-
look?
Same exact look. Have a good look at their movement patterns, at least this time. They came out of an alley not far from the building. Long shot, but might be worth checking into. If we find ourselves in the area again.
What do you think of Noah? The judge's legal assistant.
Based on my list of suspects, they are the only masculine 6-foot
Mm-hmm.
suspect.
And my new best friend, who I don't think did it.
Your new best friend?
You made
Oh,
a friend?
yes. Haru made a friend.
Yeah, he was very nice. His name's Logan. He works for the head judge.
Oh,
Lasting friendship, that one.
Good. Nice work. Maybe we have a look at this Noah again, though.
And I'm
Couldn't
chasing
hurt.
down this Shimada Dominguez mess that I'm hoping doesn't pay any fruit,
Yes.
just in case.
I will say one thing against Logan, as far as being the suspect, not him as a person. I don't know him as a person. At least not as well as you do.
Could have known him better.
Good for you. He does have an alibi.
that is true.
For
Worth-
1 out of 3.
Worth checking into where Noah was.
Yes.
And our judge was friendly with hold please. With one of the high ups at Shimano Dominguez. So I just wanna
Hmm.
check all the boxes.
It's an interesting crossover.
We'll see if anything comes up regarding them when I check Quell's computer.
Yeah.
That's the plan, eh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There may be something in there they don't know they're looking at. There may be something hidden that they don't want us to know that could lead to the answer, but don't want to tell us.
Mhm.
All right.
Do we know who at Wallace developed the AI? Is it proprietary?
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole AI development department
Okay.
responsible for their corporate AI and security AIs they sell to other people, like the UN and the Joy personal assistant AI that they're starting to sell.
So Fjor asks, what was this take on the AI? Are you thinking they're involved? It's involved somehow?
I just figure if there's one central place that all the information is kept, we should interrogate it.
Not to mention, it is the one person that we can place at both scenes of the crime.
Yeah, and I don't like that Quell 1.0 was cut off from the network.
Yeah, there would
And it would have to be initiated by the AI or someone with Quell's override.
So if it's proprietary, then at some point maybe we contact someone that could show us the coding,
Oof.
show us the activity.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
No.
I will say that at least according to the AI, Quell was the one who requested the disconnect.
Which only makes it more suspect.
Who would be better at copying authorizations from Quell than the AI that would have granted it in the first place?
And the AI that's absolutely fucking everywhere.
Well, that was why I was just kind of following your role. It just occurred to me how we got started on this case in the first place. How did some random security service, trained as they are, know to call us or know about something we did? Like, why specifically the rep detective unit for the murder of a judge?
Because we're good at what we do.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at
that's a
us.
straw man argument. Why would we be called in to help out with the murder of a human judge, specifically tied to Wallace through Tyrell? It's a little suspect itself. I don't know.
That's strangely insightful coming from you.
That's because you're usually too hopped up on whatever it is you're on this hour to notice. I actually do detective work. I've survived. But after checking out Noah, what do you say we look into this AI? Not to contradict you, but Gavin seems really good at making friends these days,
Gavin's always been good at making friends.
one way or another. Maybe you could make friends with a coder, someone that has some access to their AI, could provide some insight.
Or we could just make friends with the AI. Don't forget, you have friends made of similar base code right here.
Is it similar?
I'm going to assume.
All right. Well,
Well, I had a nice conversation with it yesterday.
Want to go make a familial connection?
Sure.
I would like to observe
Observe what?
the conversation. I'm curious.
Why?
How long has if your AI was involved in this, what else are they involved in? That's on the case, on this case, other cases. I'm curious.
Well,
How long did it start? How far does it go?
I think let's focus on one case at a time, yeah? This one's enough.
I'm going to go make a corporate friend.
I'm gonna go make an intangible friend.
I'm gonna break into a computer.
Choices.
Winning choices all around.
Making friends and taking names.
Making friends and influencing computers. There it is.
All right. Excuse me. Good heavens. Let's moving into the next shift.
Shift 2.
Let's start with conversation with the AI.
Okay.
So, Fjor, you want to be there to watch or be in the room. You can totally set up a room here at headquarters that has one of those hollow projector things, so
Mhm.
the AI could come through and have a conversation with you. That wouldn't be a problem.
Great.
So you can get in there and close up the room and turn on the thing and make contact. The AI connects to the hollow projector and filters in as a whole body form, not just the bust that you normally see on your KIA.
Mm-hmm.
And says, "Oh, well, good morning. What can I do for you?"
We have some follow-up questions.
Certainly.
We noticed that Quell is back in service.
Yes,
Very glad to see them up and about.
I am as well. I enjoy their company.
Good. I think I'm gonna. I want to show the AI the footage of the dude. And just see if they recognize this person, because they kind of have like oversight of like everyone at Wallace.
Pretty much.
So it's like if this guy's been around like headquarters or anything, they might recognize the walk pattern or something.
Sure.
Does our AI have a name?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
AI.
Yeah, it's just, for lack of a better term, Wallace. Like it's the primary interface that people use when they're speaking to the corporate identity.
Okay.
Alan Irving Wallace.
Just call him Haley Joel Osment. He was in the movie AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's that or
Fair
law.
enough.
Let's go.
Okay. My brain was not going that direction. But yeah. All right. Yeah.
The deep pull.
Yes.
Sure.
Does their like feelings about Quell seem genuine? Like they're genuinely glad to have them back?
You could do empathy insight
Okay.
to see how
I'm
you
not good
read
at
the
that, but
situation.
let's find out.
This isn't particularly difficult. You don't get that they're trying to hide anything just on its surface.
Well, that one.
Very soft.
Try again.
One success.
Okay. No, I mean, it seems they legitimately enjoy working with Quell. It seemed like anytime you've asked a coworker, like, hey, your friend is back from vacation, how's it going? That kind of thing. So they seem generally relieved.
Okay.
To have a cordial relationship again. Yeah. I'll roll for the AI. Let me get the right dice to see if they have any insight about the physicality of this person. Absolutely not.
Fair enough.
I think it's enough that like you see them watch the footage and you see a little bit of the crack that you saw the night before. Like,
Okay.
I wasn't able to stop this. Like, there's definitely some level of guilt about, like, I failed in a primary duty.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was made to do. I don't know why they were able to bypass me as a line of defense. Like, that was outside of my control, but I still failed.
Okay.
And so you kind of see them, and, like, even the hologram, like, does, like, a pixel shift.
Okay.
Back and forth a second, that you're able to notice, but they're like, no, I don't. I certainly, from this footage, I'm able to estimate height and weight, size, length of stride, that kind of stuff, but it doesn't perfectly match anybody that works for us. It does match up with any number of models of replicant that we have produced.
Okay, what would those models be?
I mean, they're in use all over the planet, off-world,
Sure.
everywhere. It's sort of a generalized model that's used for it. It's not particularly combat-oriented, but it's used in all kinds of situations.
Very good. I would ask that you just keep this in mind if you do notice anyone with these characteristics in or around
Certainly.
Wallace. Give us a heads up.
Uh, biometrically speaking, matches up with like 40% of the replicant workforce.
Sure.
Because most people are like, 6 foot is a good height for a person that
Yeah.
works and does things. They can reach things on tall shelves. They can, you know, like if you're buying someone to work for you,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
average. You know, it's not so tall that they don't fit in a chair on a tram. It's not so short that they can't reach something on the
Right.
third shelf. You know, it's
That third shelf, biggest
Yeah.
aspiration in
Right.
Haru's life.
Fuck
Third
that
shelf.
third shelf.
right. So like that's just kind of there.
Yeah.
It includes
Um,
Quell.
I don't recall if I told you Quell was 6 foot.
I don't
I
think
also
so.
don't recall.
I don't think so.
I think Quell was 5'5".
Yeah. I think Quell was in the Haru height range.
Yeah. But yeah, if you see anyone suspicious of this particular,
Certainly. I will continue to observe for any models outside of their assigned tasks.
did you have specific questions
No,
for our friend?
no, I'm just observing.
Let's see.
I sort of unprompted,
Uh-huh.
when there's a pause in the conversation, the AI looks at both of you and says, I would very much appreciate if you're able to determine how this perpetrator was able to bypass my access and my security. I need to be able to remedy the situation before it could occur again.
We are quite concerned with that. I brought it up with Quell this morning. It would be good to look into with your internal security team, obviously, but we'll
Certainly.
look into it on our end too.
Yeah, I don't have any records of memory edits taking place that would have caused a problem, but I'm happy to work around and, in our terms, computer-wise, patch the problem
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I know exactly how they were able to accomplish this.
Is there any sort of diagnostics that you can run on your end?
I have been doing so consistently since the incident. And I have not been able to determine their point of entry, other than the physicality of the building.
I do have one question to start. Quell mentioned that their competitor hasn't been able to design a model replicant comparable to their own. Do you know if they've made any developments or advancements purely in AI development?
I have not encountered another AI at my level on any public network. They may have an internal structure or a testing.
But not developing to your level of competency?
Again, no.
To your knowledge, how many people would you say that might have been capable of disengaging your security protocols that might have been from Wallace? How many of them would also have been ex-Wallace employees currently?
Anyone at the executive vice president level or higher would be able to access the system and turn off portions of my monitoring.
How many people below that level would have knowledge of your how to make a memory wipe or override you somehow.
There are a number of people on the AI development team that would be able to perform such a thing, but they would not be able to do it remotely. They would have to be on site with my hardware, for lack of a better term.
Would you be able to provide us a list of those
Beat me by
individuals?
1 second.
Certainly, I can. There aren't any recent ex-employees that I know of that would have had that kind of access.
Well, we'll follow up on the old ones as well as the recent ones.
Certainly, and it generates a list and sends it to your KIA. It's a team of maybe 25 or 30 software engineers.
Okay.
And they are located on the premises?
Yes. Mhm.
And you said,
Currently, 22 of them are in the building.
Between us, would you keep tabs on their internal activity?
Absolutely.
As much
I
as
can begin
possible.
monitoring.
If you find anything unusual, let us know.
Certainly. Of the 22 in the building, 4 of them are away from their desks.
oof.
One of them is using the restroom. The other 3 are in transit.
But that's not unusual activity.
No, it does not seem beyond the normal scope of their activities. For the
I
day.
appreciate your eagerness.
All of the employees in the building are somewhat concerned with their not being able to leave for the time being.
Certainly.
So there is a little bit of unrest, not violent.
the VP level and above who would have
Disquiet,
access.
I guess, would be a bit. Yes, I'm sorry.
The VP level and above who would also have access to turn off your features.
And they give you a list of like 15 executive vice presidents of the company that could do that.
Just in case.
All right.
And then Neander Wallace
Yeah, of course.
could do that.
Probably not him.
He has big serial killer energy. Just saying.
Yeah, but maybe not this particular killing. Have there been any other even smaller scale attempts to shut down your access or portions of your security?
I defeat many, many, many attempts on a daily basis.
Sure.
From everything from children that have gotten their first how to code book to more advanced computer engineers, other corporations,
Any from Shimano Dominguez?
I'm sure. Just as we attempt to infiltrate their systems regularly.
Oh, God.
Fair enough.
All's fair and
More and more.
I mean, until they can prove something, none of us are going to stop.
Very well. Nothing that seems like a pattern of testing boundaries.
Nothing that seems related to this case.
Okay.
I mean, for lack of a better term, there are always people tapping on the walls. But
I'm more concerned with the same fingerprint tapping multiple times until it gets through.
indeed. In the past year, we have had 16 successful infiltrations of the data network, but all of them have been dealt with.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I have, in biological terms, evolved to deal with those types of intrusions.
Very good. Let's see. I'm trying to even remember what our other evidence is so far. There's too many things.
So much.
Oh.
Evidence.
The birthday card.
Okay.
There's a strange greeting card left at the scene of the crime. Quell didn't have any associated memories with owls or the text of the card, but perhaps it might mean something to you.
Not in particular. We at Wallace aren't large into the animoid market. We occasionally produce small batch things as required, but in general, that's not our wheelhouse.
No owls.
No. Several employees list owl animoids as possessions, but
Any on the team that would have access to your technology?
Cross-referencing owls.
that's not the connect.
So funny. It was the owls. I see you, Dave.
That's it. That's it.
It's on security guards because it was always the
It
owls.
was always the owls.
What the hell is that movie?
Because there are no.
The Guardians of Gahul.
I was gonna
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say because they're the know-it-alls.
Oh.
No. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Have you regained access to connection with Quell's apartment?
Yes, this morning, when the new version of Quell was incepted.
Did you tell us about the music thing? I think you did.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I tried to access the music in the unit when we were all there.
The downstairs neighbor reported hearing music, and I'll give the approximate time during this time. Are you able to access what was played?
I am not. It was not from my network.
Okay.
Just 1 second. And it does the look up and to the left
Yes.
thing. It appears that the music being played was Mahler, the composer.
Oh.
Mahler? She wouldn't know whether that was from the show
It
you
was
guys
not
just
during
saw.
the show.
No,
Okay.
no. It's more just like.
And is there any way for you to access or identify devices that may have interfaced with the system while you were down?
With the correct information about them, I could. Yeah.
What sort of information about them?
Any kind of identifiers of their wireless connectivity. You know,
Okay.
the stuff that we talked about that
Yeah.
they searched
Yeah.
for. That stuff could help me figure out the manufacturer of a device, and
Okay. Something to get our tech team on.
certainly, I'm happy to help.
We appreciate your cooperation. I think that's all my questions for now.
All right.
On a personal note, I wanted to update you. I know you were very close with Quell. Obviously, if you come across any additional information, please feel free to reach out,
Of course, I will.
and we will keep you in the loop.
Fantastic. I will continue to search for anything I can. If you discover anything more about the device that connected to play the music, I could give you more information. Other than that, once my access to the apartment itself was shut down, I don't have any information about what happened inside
Of course.
until this morning, when the last of your cleanup team was clearing the room.
Naturally. Very good. Thank you for your time.
Very good. Thank you again. Have a nice day. If you have any feedback, and it flips into
I
the
was waiting
automated. Yeah, if you have any feedback for the interactivity of this interaction, please feel free to submit it. Blah blah blah. Does the whole end
Yeah.
of the phone call routine,
My soul leaves my body.
and then the hollow emitter spins down and recesses back into the wall.
Thoughts, concerns?
just actually had a moment of sympathy. It's got so much power and it's so burdened. Its own limits. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, aren't we all?
I mean,
Oh.
to quote the
don't-
great Robin Williams,
We don't.
phenomenal cosmic power,
Yeah.
teeny tiny living
Space.
space.
It's got a lot of responsibility too.
Yeah. I haven't had the responsibility of protecting a friend and then finding out they were cut into pieces on my shift. It seemed to be taking that kind of personal.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing you get over real fast. Trust me.
Why would an AI be getting over it anyway? It's a high degree of personality.
Well,
Completely out of character.
Mhm.
A lot of Wallace's AI development is based on Stelline scans. So their AIs tend to become
Mhm.
people-y.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think the next step for me, at least, is to take a look at Noah.
I think that's a good angle. I think I'm gonna stick with looking into how our perp was able to bypass the AI. Not a lot of people should be able to do that.
Right. But someone had to develop the AI, someone with the expertise that maybe executives don't have, that might know the coding, that could explain something, a back door that they don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, this list worth looking into.
Well, I'll start with Noah. I can help with the list later, but I want to. So you want to join me? Questioning him.
Get him to walk around and take a look.
I need you to walk for me. It's not at all creepy.
Just walk that way. Don't ask why.
Please do this. Actually, if any of us could just be like, walk, it's you. So
Well,
I'm just getting America's Next Top Model go see moments.
Amazing.
My brain immediately went to George Hamilton and the alcalde. And did he walk like these?
oh, yeah.
Did he walk like these?
Yes.
Oh god.
might be helpful. We think
If
he's
you
some
want
kind of a
backup, if you
flight
think
risk.
he's dangerous,
More like
Sure.
a flight risk, but if he's glitchy,
that's true.
okay.
I got your back.
Where were you guys headed again?
I'm calling
You're calling.
Shimada Dominguez.
All right,
Mhm.
let's go for it.
The most sunshiny personality member of our crew is calling a corporate entity. It's going to be great.
Sure.
Yeah, they get out of the office, they go find a place to tuck in somewhere in LAPD. Call.
Sure. You call the number and you're connected to an office. Like,
Mhm.
not specifically like police relations, but
Yeah.
like, an official office that fields inquiries from various official entities. And a young man picks up the phone or picks up the call and, yes, Shimano Dominguez, what can I do for you?
Hello, my name is Haru. I am officer. Blah, 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 blah.
Your official numbers.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm calling from the Rep Detect unit. I have some questions for some of your upper management. I'd like to speak to them.
Yes, certainly. I can facilitate a call. And like you see, they kind of start shuffling through some kind of
Mhm.
computer interface. Who is it that you need to?
Jaden.
Oh. Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden doesn't work there anymore,
Oh,
Oh,
right?
right.
The
Ex-CEO?
ex-CEO.
I didn't write the X part down.
I'm
I'm cute.
I can put you in contact with their information, but they do not work here any longer.
Right. I need that then, and any connections they might have to any business with the UN, specifically to do with Shimada Dominguez, would be also very helpful.
I mean, we have many contracts with the UN. for
Ones that
various-
intersect with your previous employee.
One moment, and you get like a hold screen that has like the cheesiest 1990s like digital logo for Shimano Dominguez.
Oh
It's
my
like orbiting.
god!
Like a 3D GIF.
Yeah, it's
Come on,
100%
screensaver.
Windows 95 screensaver. Let's
95.
go.
Yeah, oh my God, I was thinking Vista. Just as bad.
And then a few moments later, you hear the like buzz of like a new call connection, and then a different person
Sure.
is on the screen with you. In this case, it is a much older lady. I mean, looks to be 70 plus. That's like, I can help if you have a specific inquiry about ongoing or prior established contracts with the UN.
I'm looking into any that might have been under the purview of your previous CEO, Jaden.
Well, there were any number of them. I'm afraid I need a specific.
Were there any that intersected directly with Judge Belsley?
One moment, and they do some searching. I'm afraid that I can't give you an unlimited amount of details. Our work with our customers is confidential,
Of course.
without a warrant or similar
Of course.
information. But the judge was involved with quite a few of the negotiations that were completed between the UN and our corporation previously.
And you would classify that as under the purview of your previous CEO?
Yes. Mhm.
And what caused the termination of this previous CEO, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, they were let go for, in today's terms, SEC violations, right? Like 100%, they were making contracts with people that benefited them first and the company second, and made away with an unknown amount of money. So once the board of directors discovered this situation, they were immediately terminated.
And where would you say they are now, given that I'm going to assume that they're under extreme amounts of litigation between them?
Indeed, we have had an ongoing battle to try and reclaim lost revenue from the situation. They still are in residence here in the greater Los Angeles area.
Do you have a current address?
Certainly they provide that. You may be wise to contact their lawyer first,
Yes.
depending on exactly what you're looking for.
Friendly conversation to start.
Well, if it's a friendly conversation that doesn't involve any litigation we're involved in, you could certainly call him directly.
Of course. I'm sure
And
that
you
is...
get a direct phone number. Like,
Nice.
Cool.
but we didn't have that conversation.
Absolutely not. And what connection, if any, does Shimada Dominguez have to the Arboretum in town?
We are one of the corporate sponsors.
Mhm.
We provide a level of funding commensurate with our position. I don't think that had anything to do with our prior leadership.
Just feeling out some other elements of the case.
Ah.
And you would say that you are involved in their financing. I'm sure you also attend events there.
Yes, we at our level of sponsorship, we are able to attend various events, and we have a set number of access cards that we can use as rewards for employees or things like that.
Mm-hmm. And the Philharmonic as well.
Yes, we don't have we don't pay for corporate seats there, but we have donated to the charitable entity that maintains.
Good to know. If I have any other questions, I'm sure that my office will be in touch with yours.
Certainly. Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Anytime. And then it shunts back to the first person you talked to that was like, if you'd like to leave any feedback for your interaction with...
Fully just like hangs up, like they didn't even see it, just like...
And I think the kid that you first talked to was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Well, I'm not doing this to you. You're not doing this to me. I'm not doing this to you. Click.
Fine. Cool. Yeah. Did you want to call
Yes.
the number? Okay.
I'm going to continue to torture people. Let's go.
So you make a phone call, and it rings for a while. Because it's the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you get the screen comes on, and you get the bedside table kind of a view, kind of a thing of a very large room. And there's just sort of a mound of a duvet kind of that you can sort of see from the camera a little bit. And then this muffled voice that's kind of whoa, yes.
Hello, my name is Haru. I am an officer with the Rep Detect unit. My badge number is blah, 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 blah. Very robotic introduction.
And you kind of see a hand come out of the duvet and pull open a little gap, and a leering eye appears in the shadow and is I think you have the wrong number.
I have information that you were at an event recently at the Disney Concert Hall for the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and I just have a few questions about your attendance and some suspicious activity from the evening that you were there.
Oh, what's this about?
We have an open investigation in regards to someone that you might have spoken to that evening. We just want to make sure that everything is above board with the person that you spoke with.
Very good. I will have my lawyer contact you at this number.
Of course, by all means, and if you could have your lawyer also bring information about where you were for the last 2 days, that would also be of great use.
All right, I will talk with them and we'll get back to you.
Thank you very much for your time.
And the call winks off.
Yeah. On a cursory search, can I find out how tall Jaden is?
You probably can. There's probably Us magazine.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's
the
probably
Forbes.
some article talking about. He is not 6 foot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just torturing this poor man. That's all.
Sure. That's totally doable. Like, he might be able to get to 6 foot tall with lifts.
Mm-hmm. If he really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Or
Sure.
grafts, I guess, in
Yeah.
the future. That'd be weird.
Bone extension.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People do that. It's a weird thing.
Or maybe he was 6 foot tall and has since had 2 or 3 inches taken out of a femur.
Ooh, bud.
Ouch.
Ooh. Yep.
Choices.
That's all. Haru's just gonna dig around, find as much dirt as they can on these people.
Sure. All right. And you, Gavin, are headed to Wallace directly?
Yep, to Wallace to meet with my tech, which we never named.
No.
Tech person.
Tech
My
guy.
tech human.
Tech guy.
Tech guy.
His name is Guy. Okay,
It's
Guy.
Guy in French.
Maybe his like heritage was French,
Right.
but he's just like
That's
it's Guy. So you get to Wallace.
Yep.
You are greeted with an entirely empty lot.
Oh,
out
right.
front. Except for at all 4 points, there's like an armored personnel carrier of a spinner. Right.
Mhm.
Like it's a big thing with a mounted turret gun on top and the whole 9 yards. And spaced out all around the perimeter of the lot are armored security personnel with large weapons. When you arrive and land, you're greeted by like 5 of them come up to the spinner. You know, the one guy with like the camera on a stick that's looking underneath.
Oh yeah.
Doing the whole thing. Has like one dude comes out with an animoid dog that is checking around the vehicle also. The dog kind of gives you a couple of sniffs.
Really likes your pocket for some.
But that's not what they're looking for, so they don't bother.
Oh, sorry. One thing I would have done before I got there is I would have dropped off the glass from Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the
while
lab.
you were at the
Yeah,
headquarters,
I would
that's
have done
fine.
that. Yeah.
You could totally have done that.
Okay.
No problem. So then you are escorted in by 4 of these guys. That they take you instead of the door just opening as you approach, they take you up to it, and just one of the panels slides open,
Ooh.
and you go in, and the panel slides shut again before they even continue to walk. And the whole inside of the building, instead of being lit with those spotlights to create geometric patterns, the whole inside of the building is now flat white illumination.
Ooh.
Oh.
So like all the rocks are still there, but they're not casting a shadow because it's just omnipresent lighting.
Disneyland with the lights on and the rides.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I hate that.
So all of that ambiance of the place is gone. And you are escorted up to Quell's office,
Great.
where then you enter, and Quell's like, "Well, you didn't waste any time.
There's no time to waste.
So, who's this tech that you want me to call?
Uh,
I'll give you your name. Hold on.
Thank you. Otherwise, his name is TK Guy.
Very good. I didn't think I was going to be making
Dennis is
NPCs
having a
today.
dream.
Oh,
He's doing the little
Mhm.
Doggy paddle.
feetsies while
Yes.
sleeping.
Oh.
He also doesn't like that all the lights are on in Wallace. He's running away.
Smart.
Kevin Fenderson.
Oh Jesus.
Thank you, Kevin Fenderson.
There is a guy.
Yes, Kevin Fenderson is the name of the tech I'd like to work with.
And Quell kind of does a gesture, and then is like, "Well, would you like any refreshments or snack or anything while we wait? It'll be a few minutes."
A Coke would be lovely.
Certainly, certainly. And they walk over to sort of at the back of the office. There's like a wall that you didn't notice it when you were in here before, but it stands out like 6 feet from the actual back wall. But the way it was lit before, it just blended together. Walks behind there and comes out with a Coke and like a tray of various Danish pastries and things,
Oh.
and sets them down on a table.
Great.
Well, there you are. I'm going to continue to do a little work while we wait, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they kind of sit down and start doing stuff that you can't see from the angle you're sitting in.
Right. Looking at everything with all the lights on, am I seeing any kind of surveillance technology, anything that might be recording the room?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured. I just wanted to make sure.
It's safe to assume that the AI knows every person's location in the building and what's happening at all times.
Okay.
Which is why, like, just gestures in the air are able to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Even just following context clues, like the conversation you just had, and a gesture meant call Kevin Fenderson to my office, instead of like being like, AI, would you do blah 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 for me? Like that kind of thing.
Got it.
So it's like our current sort of voice recognition speakers, but much more observant.
Much more surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It knows when you say the A name, it does not necessarily mean the AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone could have the same name as it,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't get confused. It understands who you're talking to. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're fine.
I will be right back.
Santa Claus of Wallace Corp. It sees you when you're sleeping.
It knows when you're awake.
If only it knew if you were being bad or good. But then we'd be out of a job.
Yeah.
So,
That's a different Philip K. Dick story.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay, dystopian universe.
Everything's fine.
Screaming.
All happening. That's what's really dystopian. It's not so much fiction anymore. It's like, we didn't get hoverboards, but we got all the bad stuff.
Oh, hoverboards. I think I'd take hoverboards over bird scooters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
LA problems.
Yeah. Listen, I live in a touristy area. There are rent-a-scooters all over my neighborhood,
All
24
over
hours
the
a day,
place.
7 days a week.
It's gross.
They were kind of fun, though. I took one when I was at San Diego for a friend's wedding.
Yeah, I used one when I was in grad school. I used them regularly when I was in grad school in the way you're really not supposed to, where I was like going down a hill at top speed with no helmet on. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what grad school's for, right?
Sure.
Throwing yourself down a hill.
Real
I mean, I felt
We're
that way in
all-
undergrad, so.
I did plenty of that too.
Yeah.
For all reason and caution to the wind. That's advanced education.
So it's not Jaden,
No.
probably.
It's not. Well,
Probably.
yeah.
Most
Does
likely.
he seem like
Directly.
the sort of person who gets his personal hands dirty?
No.
No.
Also, it doesn't fit the height.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, TBH, if it is corporate espionage, they're likely using what they consider to be disposable replicants.
Yep.
Which, if that's what's going on, is going to trigger
Yeah.
Kestrel
Why would that
real
be a
bad.
problem for Kestrel?
real bad.
Oh.
Oh no, burner replicants.
Yeah, I mean,
Cricket replicants. No.
oh.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah is really the only one that fits the description that didn't have an alibi
Yeah, that we know so far.
that we know so far.
Yeah.
But again, the AI can be anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering
Or
if-
hire anybody. Or
Or
make
hire.
anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hate that.
Come on, Master Mold.
Yeah. Yeah.
So his blank outs are like what, approximately 15 minutes. I'm curious if we can get.
I think they were
They were
shorter.
short. They were like a couple minutes at the most.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. There weren't enough to. Be...
It was one of those like when you have a clock that the batteries are running low on and the
Right.
clock runs a little bit slower than everything. That's what it
So
kind
it's
of
just like
sounded like.
cumulatively
Yeah.
losing a couple minutes each day or whatever.
Mhm. It supposedly got fixed.
I'm sure it went well.
Well,
the door to the office opens after a few minutes. Kevin is sort of thrust in by 2 security guards.
You're not being executed, Kevin, we promise.
Oh no, Kevin.
And Kevin is not like freaked out. Kevin is just, you can see that he's unsettled in the same way that probably all the employees here are, with the building so drastically changed from normal and not being able to go home, that kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
And Kevin like comes into the office and is like, and sees you and is like, sees you with a Coke and is like, good afternoon, Vice President. I was told you needed to see me. Like they weren't nervous when they first walked in, but after they saw what was happening, they're
Yeah.
now on the edge,
Mm.
toes dangling over.
Now, it's good to see you again, Kevin. Were you aware that something had happened to Quell earlier today?
No, what?
Nothing.
Is there something I can do?
No.
Are you
that's-
having like a equipment failure in the office here?
No, we just have. I need some help.
I see.
We are interested in getting more information on potential threats to Wallace and to its higher up vice presidents. So I was hoping that maybe you could help us analyze some information from Quell's computer to piece out any potential
Oh.
threats.
Well, I'm sure I could help. Fine. And he
I-
kind of like looks at Quell, and Quell's like, just go ahead.
This may take.
Mainly because as a GM, I hate having conversations.
Oh
with
yeah,
myself.
no, absolutely, you're fine.
Like
That's why I jumped in. Like, I'll.
if you're like, if you ask for something objectionable, Quell will step in. But until then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be objectionable to ask them if they want to go do other work while we work on their computers? They can't really work on the computer since we're working on the computer?
no, they're not leaving the room.
Would you like to leave so I can touch your computer?
But like they'll step away and be like, "Go ahead," and like you see them pull up a interface on their arm,
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of step away and are kind of like, da 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 da.
All right, well, it's worth a shot.
I mean, you could try and like push and try and make a roll for a reason, but I'm telling you, it's going to be very difficult
Come
to
on,
convince
Gavin.
in a security conscious situation. Like, sure, I'll leave this random worker with an outside person in my office for an unknown amount of time. That's not a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try a roll. Let's see what happens.
Go, Gavin.
All right.
Do you have... No?
I, depending on which way you're going about this, I would say it's empathy manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence tech,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe intelligence manipulation.
Ooh.
Ooh. You know, we're gonna do empathy manipulation,
Okay.
trying to appeal
So
to.
that's, you are 100% just trying to convince Quell, give us a minute.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to give us a minute, kind of playing on their supposed mortality. And like, you know, this is very important. Like, we want to make sure that we keep you safe, and there might be things. It'll just be easier if you're not here.
See what you're good at.
Blow your
as
own
well.
die.
That's an 8 and a 10, baby.
Ooh. Holy shit.
Wow.
Okay.
Get out.
Leave your office now.
This is my office now.
It's just the Amityville house.
Yeah, literally.
Jesus.
Just reflected in Gavin's eyes for a second. Get out. So,
Jeez.
I'm gonna say, and if you don't like this, tell me.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you have convinced Quell that there is possibly an existential security threat tied to their workstation, and that they should leave the room until you make sure it's all safe.
Yes, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. Quell is like, excellent. Do what you need to do. I'll step out. If you need something, just call for me.
Great.
And they leave the room.
Great.
And the door, when it closes, like, you hear the locks engage, like, chunk, 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 kind of
fine.
thing.
I was planning on
Finally
leaving.
alone.
Mm.
Your torrid affair with Kevin Ferguson.
Good long game.
Yeah, that's it. That was the whole plan.
That's it.
Yep.
Kevin, a locked room and a Coca-Cola.
It is on. It is on. Let's go.
Oh.
Oh, Happy Jack's
God.
Nights.
All right.
So, I turned to Kevin. I did not want to alarm Quell, but I'll just be straight with you. And this does not leave this room.
Oh, all right.
That Quell is not the same Quell you knew yesterday.
I don't understand your meaning.
Poor Kevin.
I didn't particularly know the executive vice president before. I have never been in this office before in my life. But
Something terrible happened to the previous Quell.
so you're saying that they just incepted a new?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine, yeah.
See, it's very difficult to understand that if you don't have all the information up front, isn't it?
Well, having not known the vice president before, I wouldn't have guessed or known anything about
No.
That?
You are absolutely fine. It's just nice to get some validation.
Sure. I'm sorry to hear that something terrible happened, but
Yes. So I have been tasked with finding out who caused this terrible thing to happen to the previous Quell. I am one to believe that perhaps there could be information in Quell's computer that may show people they may have quarreled with, people who may have it out to get them, people who they may have antagonized themselves. And I was hoping that you could help me get into that information into those files that maybe aren't necessarily right on the surface.
well, we can certainly take a look.
Great.
Uh,
And to help, I bring out whatever tech I was able to get from the LAPD to help figure that stuff out.
Sure. And like he kind of sees you put the stuff on the table, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine. just give me a minute."
I
And
knew I had the right person.
he goes over to the workstation, and he kind of makes some gestures. And instead of being, the way that I've been playing these holograms work is much like lenticular cards for us.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it from a specific angle, you get to see something. If you're not at that specific angle, you see nothing there, right? But he turns it on so it's just broadcast openly. And immediately the whole wall around the desk lights up with interfaces and windows and things. And there's, stock prices, like a running ticker, and like 15 different windows with various news feeds and blogs popping up, and essentially like a super in-depth version of like Google Alerts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you've set it up so like if your name pops up in a news article, somebody's gonna let you know. Like
Widgets for days.
yeah. So that's this wild amount of interface that you would not have guessed was here at all before. And he's like, well, I guess we could check with correspondence first.
Yeah,
Is that all
correspondence.
right?
Yeah, correspondence makes a lot of sense.
So he makes a few more gestures, and like an email window appears. So it's somebody that you think they had an interaction with.
Anybody that may have had interaction with in the last 48 hours?
Okay. Well, and like, there's a whole bunch of emails listed, and then he does some more stuff, and that list reduces to only the ones that had sent and replies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of internal ones that are just, from some other employee at the company kind of stuff. There are several directly from Neanderwallace on the list. And then there's how about we do this before I put anything else on the table? Why don't you roll an intelligence check or observation
Okay, let's do observation.
with advantage, because Kevin's the one actually doing it to help you.
Okay.
These are your new paramour.
Can I get another D8?
Is it you adding?
What am I
The
D8 do now?
betrayal.
Oh.
Got 2 3s and a 1. We're gonna push.
Leave?
Which adds to 7. Yeah,
Here, have a different D8.
Yeah.
I don't trust that one anymore.
Okay, there we go. That's better. 7 and 2 4s.
Okay.
Un.
So with one success, after a significant chunk of time, right?
Mm.
Like scrolling through those email interactions, looking at calendar entries, all that kind of stuff. The only name that pops up that you've heard before, right? Because I'm not going to keep laying out nonsense in front of you because that doesn't make any sense. The only name that you've heard of before is Mason the prosecutor.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
And it was like a calendar entry for some kind of a meet and greety kind of a thing, like a general who's who amongst Los Angeles. So, kind of like if you're a lawyer, they have that super lawyers thing
Mm-hmm.
where you can pay to be part of it, and then you get to have a fancy party where important people are around, and then your name's in a registry of super lawyer.
Yeah.
But it's just that you paid money to this group that made a list. So it's that kind of a thing, but it was like sort of a soiree deal.
Okay. Very much the literati.
Yes. Yeah. But that's the only name that you see anywhere there that you have.
No direct correspondence between Quell and Mason.
No.
Okay.
Just that they were scheduled to be at the same event at the same time.
Okay. Can we do a search of the word hoot?
Hoot.
Hoot.
Yes.
Kevin's like, all right. That'll be a
Follow
hoot.
the owl.
Just think it showed up 3 times on the birthday card. It could be something that Quell would understand alone. It could be in here.
Um,
Come on,
Iconic.
come on, Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer.
yeah. Richard Dawson is making that wincy face. The host of Family Feud tells you your age. The first one you think of. Steve Harvey just chuckling to himself for an hour, or Richard Dawson kissing every woman.
Yeah.
Um,
No, thank you.
one is definitely better than the other.
Yep. Oh,
Uh,
rough.
but you probably get a spattering of entries. None of them appear to be
Connected.
case relevant.
Okay, that's fine.
Spam folder entries.
Yeah, like there's like a couple of times where like there's like an Animoid Conservancy Fund that sent out like a cutesy newsletter like give a hoot like the old Owlsy the Owl.
Yeah.
like
Yes.
like yeah, that kind of thing, but no, nothing specifically tied to that.
Okay. The KIA has an ability to put a note up, right? Like I can type up a note on my KIA and show.
Like display it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way that like maybe if we're being overheard, I don't want to necessarily be overheard.
If you want to try and hide it from the AI that is inevitably watching the room, you're gonna need to do like a stealth roll.
Be sneaky. Clandestine conversations.
Yeah, we'll do a stealth roll.
Okay.
We'll do a stealth roll about it.
I'll let you use intelligence if you want instead of agility.
No, we're gonna use agility.
Okay, very good.
I believe that's a 10. That is
Ooh.
a... Yes, that is a 10.
Okay.
Damn.
There's a lot of dubiousness there for a minute. But
Well,
sure.
it has this on it,
Oh,
and I'm like had to go and look and like, okay, so is there
that
no...
a 1? Is that a 10?
No, there's the 1, so it has to be a
It's a
10.
Very good.
thing. So it's the 10.
All right. So sure. Okay. What are you putting on this note to Kevin?
Trying to think how... Basically what I'm trying to ask is I want to do a search for anything involving... what's the word? Basically anything that's involving the hidden replicants in the LAPD.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sure.
If there's the list of them, if there's any information whatsoever, I need to know who they are to make sure that I'm not on that list.
Oh, sweet baby boy.
You can pull up a whole list.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin's like, okay. And he kind of brings it up for you to screenshot.
Yes, I will definitely screenshot that.
You don't see yourself
Okay.
on the list because Wallace has no idea that you're not who you say you
Right.
are.
I knew that. Gavin didn't know that.
Sure. And you see that there's a couple of names on the list that surprise you, like people that you've interacted with. But I think because you two are just employees.
Yeah, we just got
Yeah.
hired like
Yeah.
people.
So
We're normal. What's your story?
I think that this moment is when you see Fjord's name on the list.
Yes.
Now Gavin knows that we're all replicants. Finally,
All
one
robots.
of us knows.
One of us knows at least.
Mhm.
This was very helpful. And close it and do whatever we have to do to back out and
Sure.
get all the information. That's good to know that there was communication between Quell and Mason.
You don't.
Or there could be, there's a connection, I mean.
Sure. Kevin is kind of like, you don't think that, like, this is an internal product problem.
We're exploring all avenues. Stranger things have happened.
Okay.
We're just checking all the boxes.
My if it seems to have been a problem with our products here at Wallace, would you let me know?
Absolutely.
Love to know. I have a close friend that works in that department that I would not like to see lose their job.
Of course. Don't even worry
Okay.
about it. Yes, that is fine. Yeah, don't worry about that. And again, I would keep this conversation just in this room.
Yes, of course.
Great.
Do you have any idea when we'll be able to go home?
You know, I don't, but perhaps it's a question I can ask Quell when we invite them back in.
All right.
Are you
Very good.
okay?
I've been here for 19 hours.
Oh, buddy.
I would like to go home, but I understand.
You must be very tired.
Yes, quite.
I will push the Coke in their direction.
Oh, Jesus. You're actually a Coke
Literally.
pusher now. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's how you respond to your existential crisis number 2 for one shift.
Sure. So
The Coca-Cola, not the Coke that I did earlier this morning. Specify.
I
Not
should have asked,
breakfast.
actually. That's a good point. That's a good point. Did you reach into your pocket or did you hand in the bottle?
That is at home.
It's not a matter of replicants all the way down. For Gavin, it's Coke, Coke, Coke all day long.
All right. So Kevin is like, "Oh, thank you." And he kind of takes it and like tucks it into his coat that he's wearing, and he's like, I'll have that later after I get to go."
Sure, I completely understand.
And like he looks at the table and he like takes a couple steps over and grabs like 3 Danishes and shoves them in his pocket.
Yes, Kevin.
And he's like, all right then. If there's anything else I can do, you can contact me here.
I'm sure I will. And again, thank you so much for your help and for your discretion.
Certainly.
And I'll I guess, signal for Quell they can come back in.
And moments later, Quell returns to the
Okay.
office. And,
It seems the threat, there was no, you're clean on that.
all right. Good. Well, thank you for being thorough.
Of course. And
Um,
thank you, Kevin, for all of your hard work.
Thank you. I'm happy to help. And like Quell is like, Quell has the look of like, I have now noticed you, Kevin.
Oh, no.
Oh, poor Kevin.
like,
Oops.
Ruined this man's life. Congratulations.
maybe not. Maybe you put him on a career path that will lead him to excel. Like,
In Wallace Corp, where nothing bad ever happens to anyone.
I mean,
Where he'll be dealt with.
like at the same time, maybe
Maybe he
is
becomes
the
an elite.
jumpstart. Yeah, like this is the well. If this Kevin person is good enough at our systems, maybe they deserve to be.
See, I'm helping
Promoted.
him.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
At some point, maybe in a postscript to the show, we'll find out the fate of Kevin.
Pushed off of the top of the ziggurat.
Mhm.
Or promoted to like the vice president of software engineering. Who knows?
Right.
Right. We'll
Um,
have to see.
I did have a question, Quell, regarding this. I did notice you had a meeting on the books with Mason, the prosecutor.
Oh yes. He invited me to go to their soiree thing.
No, the calendar thing. Was that something that's coming up or something that already happened?
It already happened.
Okay. And did you go?
Yes.
And can you tell me who was there, who you might have spoken to?
Oh, I spoke to quite a few people. Everybody wants a little bit of Wallace Company's attention.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's entirely why Mason invited me to appear, show support for our products.
Mm-hmm.
I attended, but I have not been particularly overly impressed with Mason. I think they do as they're made to do.
Hmm.
Mason sometimes, I believe, thinks that they are better than other replicants because they have achieved some level of success in a primarily human.
He thinks he's people.
Indeed, indeed. Well, as we all do, but most of us try to keep it to ourselves.
So you don't think that Mason would be a good fit to, say, take over a judge's position?
Oh, on the contrary, I think Mason would do a fine job.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So you're just liking him as personal.
well, just style differences, I suppose.
Aesthetic.
Yes, do your job, get things done. You're more effective if you're not showboating.
Ah, I see.
But I appeared and showed support.
Now, was this meeting for all replicant members of the elite, or was it a mix of humans and replicants?
It was a mix.
Interesting.
The well-to-dos and want to be well-to-dos gather.
Mm-hmm. If you could supply me with a list of people who may have been there, I'm trying to put people in places and see connections. You don't have to supply it to me now, but if you want to send that to the office, that'd be great. Just so we can get an idea of who may have been in contact.
Sure. Quell kind of walks over to the computer station and clears away the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of does some additional gestures. And the AI materializes and is like, I've compiled a list of everyone that Vice President Quell interacted with that night. Here's a transcript of the conversations, all of that. And it kind of gestures at your arm and you get a copy of all that stuff.
Looks like I got quite a bit of reading ahead of me.
If there's anything specific you were looking for, I can narrow that down for you. But
just trying to get an idea of the atmosphere, anybody who may have been there who may be connected to the other case, things of that nature. It would take some time to sift through. Not to keep bringing this up, but the birthday card found at the scene is sticking with me as an odd detail, an odd calling card for whoever may have done this. There's nothing in there that makes any connection to you whatsoever. Nothing that sparks any kind of recollection, memory.
honestly, no. Specifically, owls were more of an obsession of Tyrell before. I have never had an owl or had a desire to have an owl. I've never been an owl. I don't dream of owls. I don't play with owl toys. I haven't decorated my home by putting owls on every surface. I don't know.
Just quite the enigma. If you do think of anything, please let us know.
Happily, I will continue to try and investigate from what I can determine, but
Also, out of character, just making sure. The calling card wasn't actually on paper, right? It was a, plastic
no,
birthday card
or
whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, just making
That
sure.
would be a lot.
Right. I was like, that'd be an important detail.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. No.
Okay.
It was not.
Well, I've got quite a bit to go through here, but again, if you think of anything, please let us know. And
Certainly.
just because it came up, do you know when the embargo will be lifted?
Employees can go.
Oh, well, we likely won't relax security measures until we have a more definitive answer of what happened.
I see.
We certainly wouldn't want to allow any further damage to Wallace property or personnel.
Of course. Well, then I guess I better go get to work quickly.
I'd appreciate that,
Mhm.
as would a great many people. That's much of the rest of my day.
Well then, you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well. And Quell gestures and the door slides open and your quad of escorts awaits. And you see there's another person standing outside with another escort that walks into the office after you. They are not significant. It's just for flavor.
Sure, that's fine.
Just
No, I want a whole backstory. First, last name, height, gait.
How tall are they?
observe how they walk.
Do they have an owl?
They're just
It's
walking
you. Are
in.
you interested in owl?
What jacket is slung over their chair?
Does it have a rip in it?
Like as they're walking by, they open up their jacket and go, want an owl?
Oh
Yep.
man.
That's it. We solved it.
All right. That's the killer. Hey, you got him. The random employee that I haven't told you anything about before.
Knew it.
Fuck you and your clues. All of them were red herrings. The mastermind of owls is here.
It was elf all the way down, baby.
As you're walking out, you hear, scrawl!
It is several owls in a trench coat.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Okay.
I have kept everybody too long tonight. I am losing my mind.
Oh my
We are on an owl train to hell. And no stopping. So, thank you out there, Internet Land, for joining us for episode 11 of Burning Bright. I think we're going to skip next week. Because we're coming to a point where clues are starting to point in directions and connect. So we don't want to continue without players and availability. I will make sure that there is some announcements about our holiday schedule coming up. Once we get that all nailed down, because not next week, but the following 2 weeks are immediately following major holidays. So once we all get our personal schedules nailed down and we see what's going on, I will let everyone know. Thanks again to James in the chat for keeping things civil and awesome. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you to all Patreon folks that support the channel. It doesn't have to be a big investment, but if you like the content we produce, we certainly would appreciate if anybody wants to join up, and you get some cool bonus stuff, including when this game wraps up, we'll do a sort of decompress, debrief, and talk about things where I can point out things that everyone missed.
All the clues.
And they can point out things that they thought were important. And I'm like, that was just me throwing out some bullshit. It's interesting to hear and talk about. So if you're interested, you can find information at happyjacks.org/Patreon. There is the ongoing process also where we're starting to record and we put out the Nerding Out episodes for Patreon members where cast members from various Happy Jacks shows get together in random clumps and talk about shit we like and are nerds about, which was fun. Last month, you could have heard a story about how I assaulted an original Star Trek cast member once.
The month before was a
Yeah.
very hinged conversation about costumes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extremely hinged.
All of
We're really
them.
normal about
It
it.
was just a whole coat of hinges.
So hinge.
Yeah.
Thanks again. I'll pass it around the table.
that's me. Hello, I'm Sam. I have been Kestrel, your resident owlologist for this episode. You can find me on the internet at redpandroid, on most of the socials, where I'll do a lot, except for come here. So, I guess go look at pictures of me as a skeleton. Goodbye.
She's gone now, somehow.
Smoke bomb.
Honestly, someday, yes. Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I've been Haru. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris. You can find me tomorrow on a special, we're doing a Q&A for Transplanter RPG, where I am a cast member for the Chaos Protocol, the second campaign there. We are doing a Between Arcs Q&A with the cast, so all 5 of us are going to sit around and answer a bunch of questions about the Wild Sea and what we've done to make horrible, sad, beautiful, queer stories. You can check that out tomorrow. And then on Sunday, my podcast that I am a cast member and co-producer on the Lore Brewery is dropping our holiday special, Elf Crimes Snowfall, a noir story about a bunch of beings of the North Pole solving a crime about mail. It is delightful. We're playing an original game system by one of our cast members who's actually playing in the game as a player, which is really fun. We're playing Elf Crimes by Rascal Cat Games. So check that out on Sunday. We drop it early. You can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. It is a romping good time. And I think that's all of the chaos from me for now. Take it away, Cousteau.
Thank you. Yes, my name's Cousteau. I have been playing Fjor Rotari, veteran Cityspeaker, and completely outed Replicant.
I was waiting for it to
It
happen
was good, yeah.
at some point. I wasn't expecting it to be then.
And you can find me on the socials at Cousteau Magee on Instagram, on the Facebook, on Twitter X, and I write about writing and designing role-playing games, or more likely player races and subclasses with an aim towards increasing representation. And also, if you decide to promote a local convention related to gaming, please do me a favor and include, but just be inclusive on your promotion. I'm not going to mention names. I think we all know what I'm talking about, but please don't do that. What they did. But I am also committing to becoming my first-time dungeon master for D&D.
Yeah,
Yay.
one of us.
And I
one
am.
of us.
I do plan to include lots of Star Trek, Star Wars, and Hellraiser references. I love
Ooh.
Darker. My players don't know that, so don't tell them.
How will the secret ever get out?
We are in a vacuum.
They're trust me, they probably won't. They probably won't know, and if they do, they'll just love it more. But anyway, I will be posting that on the socials as well. Thank you.
Hey, I am Joey. I have been Gavin Huxley, the Dice's favorite princess.
That's true.
Apparently this episode that's true. You can catch me on all the socials at Feywild85, FEYWILDE85, or just Feywild, FEYWILDE. Not doing a lot aside from this right now because I am in the middle of caroling hell. Gotta make that money, gotta sing those songs. I'm very excited for the 23rd of December that I'm done, and then I be a human again.
I feel the excitement.
That's all I've got.
Picturing caroling in hell, though, specifically.
Caroling in Southern California in full Dickensian outfits, that's pretty close.
Yeah, it's close.
All right. I apparently got an eyelash in my eye, right?
No!
So, Pirate Dave says good night.
Arr.
Best. TV on the high seas of the internet. We'll see you next time. It won't be next week, but it might be the week after. I'll let you know online. Bye for now.